Yeah, what I remember I like doing, I really like to check as many of the single entrance caves. Kakariko still had a lot of value just because, you're looking for any of those single entrance ones that have an item. And then I think with Simple Shuffle, really, you're trying to find a way to get up Death Mountain. There's a ton of value there just because multiple entrance caves have such a higher chance of having a chest in them as well. It looks like Sanctuaries in Kakariko. That's actually a really good start to have that there. That's a very nice, safe spot.
Even better, the Kak restock is at Snitch Lady West. Everyone else kind of went with that sort of uncle start that's become popular in the open mode tournament. I don't know what I feel about it in this mode. Solski's kind of off to an early lead here because he has bombs and he's in such a dense area.
Yeah, that's really nice, and I mean, you got bombs right when you needed them too. Looks like that was Desert up in Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, Desert is... You get some good information going in it right at the start because they're going to learn right away whether they need boots this seed. But on the other hand, the flute is in the back of Escape, though Solski looks like he's going to brave the dark sewers with nothing.
This is a pretty bold play here. You gotta catch this rat in the dark with only bombs. This is pretty aggressive. I like this. Oh, he killed one, but I don't think he got the key there. Oh, he did get it. Okay, so now he just has to make it to the chest, but he only has one heart, so that's gonna be a little tough. The snakes are kind of menacing in that chest room.
On the other side, it looks like Desert was not boots blocked, so that could be pretty significant. But no value in Desert.
Another fun thing about Desert Palace being at Hyrule, if you remember it at its vanilla location, you need a fire source, obviously, to defeat the last part, and you also need a lift upgrade to lift it up. This is not the case. They actually have to find a way to get through that magic barrier if they want to defeat Landmo. So that means they need either a level 2 sword or a cape to get over there, as well as a fire source.
So, did I just see right that Mikan just found the flippers in the vanilla big key chest in Desert?
That was correct, yeah. That's the flippers over there in Desert as well.
Man, I should be a better commentator and pay attention. I guess the other two got them too. So flippers are really interesting. They open King's Aura, of course. They make it a little harder to get into the Houlihan room. And given that hycutype just drained the dam, he could potentially make it to a chest and swamp if he finds it.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that dam was over in the left or the right snitch's house there. It's also really nice that they found that early. That's been something I've been known to trip up people in entrance shuffle is when you drain the dam, there's also an item that appears in the drained water. And in a normal situation, you're always going to see that when you exit it. But an entrance shuffle, if you've already been to that area, but you drain the water much later, you might forget to go back over there sometimes.
Yeah, to clarify for anyone who doesn't know, entrance shuffle has kind of a special mechanic with the dam. Once you drain it, it's for keeps. So by them pulling this lever, the dam is forever empty for them, which means they can get the drained item and Swamp Palace is accessible. So finding the dam is usually important, and when it's not easy, you can go on a long hunt for it.
Yeah, it's definitely very fortunate for them they found it early. It could be really obnoxious when your go mode is just trying to figure out where that single entrance is.
I've so far have yet to have a seed where I had to find it behind Super Bomb, but I'm hoping.
I've had one where you had. It was unfortunate. Ooh, there's Sashrala. I think that was in the, the shop area? I know he's down there. I don't know exactly which one he went in.
So a fun thing about Sahas is, he has that text that tells you what the green pendant is. The entrance shuffle uses a bunch of little different text, and it's like half as long in entrance as it is in the non-entrance version.
Really? I didn't know that, actually. That's kind of cool, actually. We got a quick Mac chip there. I think I saw 5 and 6 at Desert and Hera, and I think Eastern might have been a pendant. It was really quick though. I couldn't see it.
Ooh, we have a mushroom sold by the bottle vendor. Mushroom's an item with a lot of intrigue, even more since fake powder was discovered. Because, if they find the cane, they can still do that. But on the other side of things, the potion shop could be somewhere really terrible, so there's a lot of temptation to just turn that mushroom in early.
Yeah, you never know when you're going to run into that potion shop vendor, so... I think with the flute in hand, which doesn't look like Haiku has from his tracker, I don't know if he'd made it to Sanctuary yet or not, but yeah, I would turn that mushroom in immediately, just because it's going to cost you no time at all. And you never know again when you're going to find that bottle vendor.
And I just have to say, early flute, I like early flute in any mode, but in entrance especially, it can just make sweeping the world a lot more efficient.
Oh, definitely. Mobility is so important in this. It could be a real grind when, you have to walk all the way to the opposite end of the world just to catch your, double entrance cave to get you to this other spot, to take, a double entrance to get to the other spot, and then, you get a one-way gate to go left or right, and then if you're wrong, you got to do it all over again. That was Mimic Cave over in the the library.
Libraries are or the mimics are boning up on the reading. Oh man, we have Spiral Cave at the Quarreling Brothers. Early game Spiral Cave is just terrible. I think we can agree.
Oh, it's awful, especially with 3 hearts here. You have to be really careful. He's got 3 more bombs left. And he's also, I don't know if he checked what was at race game, but he's probably going to want to exit out of this, and even making it out once you get to the chest is kind of difficult because you got little mini troll dorms kind of prowling down there as well.
I believe Prier just showed us the magic bat is blocked by the Aghanima lumberjack tree. Now, we all know this game would never troll so badly as to make that required, right?
Oh, I hope not. That's so rough to be forced to do, Aga, just to get an item that, you have no idea what it's going to be.
Though, seeing that, I would just insta-turn in that mushroom.
Yeah, I bet it's a shame he didn't have his flute. I'm probably a little disappointed he hasn't turned it in yet, because he's going to have to go back there to see what the item is.
So speaking of the flute, now that we have some players discovering the well, to me at least, the big question is, how fast can I go to Death Mountain once I have the ability to, as soon as I've located the Cack Well? Because, the Cack Well is almost always going to be in the main body of the Light World. Then there's a 7 chest cave up on Death Mountain, and within the simple shuffle, those are kind of the big deals.
Yeah, most definitely. And what is it? I think as far as multiple entrance caves go, I mean, there's it's almost a 50-50 chance that whichever one you find is going to have items, or potentially have items that you can eventually reach. There's not very many useless multiple entrance caves. So there's Ganon over at the ferry drop.
It's honestly a pretty handy place for Ganon. It's really quick to access him with Flute too, but it's not in a place you wanted to look for items otherwise. So it's not going to hurt anyone who checks him late.
Yeah. I've noticed everyone's been very intelligent about checking the back doors to all these drop-downs before they head inside of them, because if he would have dropped down that hole prior to going into the drop, he'd be at Ganon at, 9 minutes in the game, and even if he could hurt him, he's got no means of doing it. He's got to get all 7 crystals and defeat Agatu, of course, and then, maybe a sword and anything more than bombs would be helpful as well.
Poor hycutype. You see what happened to him there?
No, I didn't actually.
He was turning in the mushroom, mashing Y, and the next item on his list was the green potion.
No. just to make this even more unfortunate for him, he's going to find his flute here and been like, wow, I could have just done this so much easier 2 seconds ago. I have a
Though he
feeling
does at least decide discretion's the better part of valor and stays out of the dark sewers.
Yeah, that was very bold by Solski. If he would have been able to pull that off, I couldn't tell if he did or not. And I mean, if he got like a certain item too, I wouldn't even know if he opened the chest unless I had his audio. But that's very difficult to do, especially with 3 hearts and only bombs.
I mean, I'm gonna be very honest. There's no chance I could do it.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even try.
I don't even think I'd get the rat. So Prier's found Blind's house. This is one of those 5 chest caves that you really want to find. Doesn't look like it has a lot of value. I didn't really catch where it is.
It's over by the Lakeside Fortune Teller in the Shield House, I think.
Did have a book. That could be interesting, because that accesses the front door Desert Palace, which, because we know Desert itself is at the castle, that could let you in the front door of the castle itself, in which case they could explore it fully. Or it could be limited access to Turtle Rock.
I don't even know which one I would want to see there. I guess it'd probably be a little nicer to have Turtle Rock being there. Not having to deal with Turtle Rock in itself is pretty nice in a run.
Yeah, you can't quite skip all of Turtle Rock when it lands at the desert, but you can definitely route it much more efficiently than you can when it's in its vanilla location and you have to go all the way through.
Of course, it's agreed, though, that having it at Hyrule Castle is like the most awesome spot to have it, just because you can access all sections of it if you know you have Dark World access and a mirror to get over there. Then a way to get past the a Master Sword.
I just can't believe the cruelty of this world we're watching. Someone tried to drown that poor bee.
Wow. That's funny. Well, they saved it. Probably before it drowned. That was very kind of them. The true heroes of Hyrule here. Saving bees from drowning. I didn't see too much value over at the Light World shopping mall area there.
And there was a red shield shop. They could have spent 500 rupees if they had them to.
They don't quite have them yet. They have those flippers too, so I imagine they're in the back of their minds. They're probably wanting that Zora money. At this point, though, I'm surprised no one's headed up Death Mountain. Solski, though, is probably well on his way here. If I do understand this mode correctly, the exit to this cave has to lead you somewhere up top Death Mountain. If it's not there, then it's going to be, I guess, at the top exit to the Death Mountain ascent.
Which is spectacular if that really happens. But yeah, those 2 caves at the foot of Death Mountain just are connected with the whole Death Mountain network itself. And you notice Solski went in that left cave first before he's going to fool with the rest of this. Because of the whole single entrance thing, that one left cave will always be some single entrance cave, but everything else on Death Mountain could be anything. It can be a pretty intimidating area, but like we've been saying, it has a cave with 7 chests in it, so Death Mountain can really pay off.
Say Vanilla Waterfall we just found over on Mikan's side? I think it is. Oh, wait.
Hey, it was flipper blocked, just like in Vanilla.
Spoke one entrance too soon. I thought he was there.
Oh man, that was the lamp behind the mushroom.
Wow, that's a great thing to have, especially this early. And I bet Solski kind of wishes he has it right now, because I think he's probably trying to rescue the old man right now. Maybe not. One of these dark rooms is going to be the either the front or the back of the Old Man Rescue, just because that always has to be somewhere up here in the mountain, because you still do take him to his original home.
To be more specific, the back of it has to be on West Death Mountain. The front of it could be on East Death Mountain, but it could also be on West Death Mountain or at the foot or wherever.
That's absolutely right.
And especially when you have the flute, I really value having the Old Man rescued, even if his item is bad, because it's the fastest place you can start to get a full health refill, and if you're just jumping around the world, that time adds up.
Also, too, in the shuffle mode, his actual home that you respawn from the save spot could be somewhere you don't have access to yet.
Yeah, the best case scenario by far is his home leads you to the summit of the mountain.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Getting up top of the mountain is sometimes really difficult to do. And you can look through all these entrances next, and you're trying just to find that one, so you can check out what's over in Hera, and you just can't find a way to get over there. But I guess you probably you'll still have to have the hammer or mirror to get over there. Moon Pearl and the first 2 chests to 7 chest cave.
Yeah, and a bottle, so it looks like so far it's lived up to the hype. Speaking of a different type of hype, hycutype is cashing in his bottle at a ferry. A bottle for an empty bottle. Always a slap in the face, that one. Ooh, but Solski finding the sword. And the hammer.
And the better sword.
So, Solski being the first to make the Death Mountain play is rewarded with full Dark World access.
Yeah, and because he also checked the cave at the Ascent too, that got him over to the east side of Death Mountain too, so he's explored all of that as well, whereas if you just opt to take the flute route, as far as we've seen so far, they don't have a way to get over there yet.
And doing that as well allowed him to locate Hookshot Cave, which you can't do anything with it yet, but that can be a really important cave to find down the road.
Oh, definitely, yeah, there's 4 chests in there, so... Oh, okay. That entrance that Mikan was just in, if he were to follow that the whole entire way, that would get him over to the right side if he elected to go that route.
Yeah, but I kind of agree with when you're doing Death Mountain, don't get absorbed by taking connectors, because a lot of them you'll never have to explore, and your goal here is the chest.
Exactly. Yeah, if you just go in, go out, you can kind of piece together which ones you've seen and which ones you haven't, and then, if you're at a point where you're, still looking for things, you could be like, I never actually saw the back of this cave, and then you could check it out, and maybe that could get you to the top of Death Mountain or something like that. I actually think that was something I learned from watching you. I used to be, really diligent about checking all the entrances and exits and mapping them out, and I watched you just go in and out of them, and I was like, yeah, that's probably a lot faster.
Yeah, like, it can be a double-edged sword, because, if you get something really trolly, then, you could have to go back and re-explore to find the way to the summit or something, but maybe you just find the mirror and the hammer before you have to fool with Terra, and you just don't have to do any of that, right?
Exactly. Prier's heading up to Desert, and it's going to be Hyrule Castle, so this should be some easy items for him to find. He also has the lamp, too, so he could check that sewers chest if he wanted to, or, he death warps to get over there.
Prier's actually the only one with the lamp, and Mikan and Solski have already found their Dark World access, so I almost wonder how long he'll be the only enlightened racer.
Nice pun there. I appreciate it.
So it looks like the front of the old man's house is just at the foot of East Death Mountain, which isn't a terrible place for it, but probably wouldn't be my first pick. Well, Solski's adventuring into a mystery dark cave. Oh yeah, the back of the old man's house. Yeah. So that doesn't help him.
I saw him taking a weird turn. I don't think there's... That other dark cave is pretty unusual too, the ones with the holes in it and stuff, but I don't think it has turns like that, so... He literally just went out and came back in exactly where he just came from.
Meanwhile, Mikan showed off what I think is objectively one of the best things in the entrance randomizer, and that's returning the old man by jumping onto his house.
Yeah, that is a fun way to do it. Probably quicker too, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on where his rescue cave is. It's frequently faster, and even if it wasn't faster, it would still be worth it.
Ooh, Haiku's heading over to Eastern here. I don't know if we've seen this yet. Ice Palace. That's not a great dungeon to have for the 0 item accessibility there.
Interestingly, Solski does have Bombos and the hammer, so if he finds Ice Palace, he has the option to full clear it right now.
Wow, that's very true, actually. I kind of hope that's not what the logic is requiring of them. That's a tough task to do right now. I guess you have 2 bottles and you know where the potion shop guy is, but... Well,
yeah, and like everyone other than hycutype has a green potion.
Yeah, he dumped his in the witch's cauldron.
I mean, in fairness, everyone else... Well, I guess Mikan found magic somewhere, but it's not a total waste, because at least it was his first magic fill-up.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Oh, Bamos was in that middle chest in sewers. So Solski must have gotten it, and we just were oblivious.
Hats off to you, Solski. That's really impressive.
That's a chest that can be really easy to put off for a really long time, and Bamos is especially significant. You know, in the simple shuffle, there's 2 different medallion dungeons to open, and they will be dungeons. And, I mean, Bamos can be your way into Ice Palace.
Can you dig it? Mikan was very kind to give us a pedestal check, and we have another mystery item, being the shovel on the pedestal, so to be determined if that's required or not.
Though I'm just gonna throw out there so no one gets their hopes too high. The only way that could be required with what we've already seen is if Ganon's tower is vanilla, and does anyone really want Ganon's tower to be vanilla?
No, yeah, you do make a good point there.
So Solski rescues the drowning bee, while hycutype gets his Dark World care package here on the mountain. Prier's on his way to the mountain too, so we could have some relative synchronization as these players head toward the Dark World, I think.
Yeah, seems like everyone's trying to do their best job to make sure they kind of clean up as much of the light world as they feasibly can before they go into the Dark World to do those adventures. And seemingly enough, it's paying out for them because there's a lot of items I'm sure they would be happy to have before they go any further.
Yeah, like, the main differences we see so far is only our players on the left have found Bamos, only Prier has the lamp, and everyone other than Solski has the book. It also looks like most of them did not find flippers in desert.
That's probably correct. I don't remember seeing anyone really taking too much time in desert. What did Mikan have to kill the popos off? Did he have bombs early?
I think he got a lucky bomb drop, and that's what let him do it. That could actually be really significant because, I mean, in Solski's case, he doesn't even know it's desert there, so he still has a lot of stuff to check. But for Prier and hycutype, who already saw it and already found one item in desert, like, it's a hard call to go back there to open one chest that could be the compass.
Well, I think the only thing they found in there was the small key, and then they left, right? So
I'm pretty sure the big chest, which they were able to get because the big key was the other chest on the right, was a like piece of heart or something.
yeah, but if they didn't want to clear the right side because they couldn't kill the popos, unless they actually did go in there just to open the chest. I don't remember if they did or not.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, with what they've seen, you know, they know, like, Landmo's a 50-50 of being the item.
Gotcha. Oh, well, I mean, unless they get, you know, Dark World access in the mirror, they gotta go through the front of the dungeon to get up there anyways. And then they can't even get to Landmola yet without another sword or a cape. That's a good old entrance shuffle.
Or they could defeat Ganon.
There's that too, yeah. I don't think that's...
A fun, obscure mechanic, which the logic can require, I looked it up in the code, is that defeating Ganon removes the electric barrier.
You know, that is right. I have noticed that before, and that's actually something they could do right now to go do that. Wow, that's an unusual thing. I don't even think I would remember something like that during a race. I would probably be stuck for a little bit.
Yeah, I've never seen it actually required. I mean, the stars really have to align for it to be required, but it's just a fun little thing.
Probably pretty unlikely, though, with how much of the world's open to him right now. But, you know, you never know.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we know Landmola doesn't have an item, so the only way it could even be required would be if that Crystal 5-6 ends up being some sort of major choke point. This game would never troll like that, though,
right? Sometimes you wonder.
On Mikan's side, we found Hera. Excellent dungeon to find with their current equipment.
Well, he doesn't have a lamp yet. So if he doesn't find a big key here, he's going to be locked out, and that was not a big key, so... I think that ends our time here in Hera, and Solski, right behind them, is going to have the same disappointment, because I don't think he has his lamp either.
And after finding the hookshot cave, Prier is shied away from Death Mountain, so as the only player with the lamp, he's still a ways away from entering the Dark World and being the player who actually could finish Hera for us.
If the tracker's correct, it looks like Prier's problem right now is he doesn't have the flute, so he has no way to get over... Well, I guess there actually still was a way over there. He could have taken one of those connectors to get over.
But yeah, like, he's probably going to need the flute to finish the game anyway, so I hope for his sake he just checks the back of escape.
Ooh, Solski taking a death over there. It's 5 hearts and green mail. It makes... The Dark World is not free.
We have our little lakeside bar in this secluded area. Probably doesn't do a lot of business, but it's probably a nice place to visit.
Great in the summertime, you know. Digging game. That was like silver arrows there. Those are handy to have. No way to shoot them yet, but at least you got them. The bow is still very much required to beat this game.
Looks like Prier's taking the plunge. He's about to get his flute. This should rocket him forward. Flute's a pretty important item.
Yeah, I think at that point, too, I mean, he can activate his flute, but with what he's done right now, I mean, he doesn't have his Dark World access or anything like that. It should probably bring him up to the top of the mountain. He really doesn't have too many other places to go.
Our runners in general are really diverging right now. Like, hycutype has the Dark World access, but he's choosing to check out the castle, which Prier did earlier, for want of a flute. Solski's checking out the area near Pod, while Mikan is heading to the Village of Outcast Skull Woods area.
And Solski found Mini Moldorm here, so that's 5 easy chests to check. Found his red shield, so that saves him 500 bucks.
I really like what Mikan's doing in general here, though, which is checking out the Skull Woods area, because that small key in Skull Woods could be very nice to have later. Probably not as nice to have as that bow Solski just picked up, though.
Oh, was that bow over it? Yeah, that's really nice. And yeah, though the dungeon entrance to Skull Woods might not be in this area, you might still need the small key to complete it. It is just a green pendant in this, so there is still some value to it, but you know, it might be something that you'll wish you had it before you accidentally stumble across the dungeon. You're like, wow, I wish I could beat this, but I didn't go over to this area to get the key yet, so kind of doing your due diligence there.
And yeah, while by logic they would need the fire rod to do it, in practice, if they go back and head to that potion shop and get that lamp, it's the easiest bomb jump in the game.
Absolutely. Solski opening up Pod. We'll see what this random dungeon is. All right. And by random, I mean not random at all. Pod is Pod. Pretty convenient timing for him to get his bow.
Just a shame he didn't find that lamp. It's going to add some difficulty, though I don't really imagine it's going to deter him from doing everything he needs to do here.
Yeah, the lamp would make it a little bit nicer. The turtle room can be a little obnoxious, but he does have bombos at his utility here, so that can really help out with that. You can kind of flip him over and cast bombos. That'll kill him, and looks like Prier has found his way up here to get his hammer, so he's got his Dark World access now. And that was Ether over in Skull Woods. Must just quickly say kudos to all the people that have been doing commentary on these 4-way races. This is like sensory overload for me. My eyes are just pinging between all these screens trying to catch the action.
Yeah, I have missed things, but looks like Prier's putting a little more time into checking some caves the others didn't. I don't recall anyone going through this dark connector, not that it would have been reasonable without the lamp.
That's like the worst room to do without the lamp. Oh.
If he keeps at the mountain and actually finds a way to the summit, I'm not convinced one exists, but if he finds one, he could check Hera.
I'm starting to think one exists, only because I feel like everything I've seen up here, I've seen it being paired somewhere else.
I'm thinking the summit's probably one of the Spectacle Rock Cave pieces.
You could be right there. I'm kind of wondering if maybe it's one of the Paradox Cave ones, though, also. If not, I'm pretty sure they have to lead you to, you know, the little ledge things like Spiral Cave or the other one next to it, but I mean, at least knowing that they're there saves you one trip from having to explore it later. But I think at this point, though, I mean, if you found Paradox Cave and all that, I guess Spectacle Rock really would be one of the only things you'd be looking for.
I certainly have been known to neglect Spectacle Rock for a very long time. It's a lot of work for one item.
Yeah.
But it could be the item.
I was going to say, when it's the item, though, you know, all that work pays off. Or
hycutype having a little difficulty with the Gibdos here.
Yeah, everyone's still on Green Melon for the most part. Everyone's very low on hearts. I think
hycutype's had enough.
Yeah. No, Ether's a great strat for that room. Ether straight up kills the Gyptos, whereas the Ice Rod freezes them. I'm not quite sure how that one works out.
This is the magic of having your entire game built on hard-coded tables. Ooh. We have the actual Master Sword here in Pod, unlike our false alarm earlier, for which I blame you.
Wait, what?
Oh, you didn't notice the Master Sword got marked on the tracker for a brief moment when you said, and the better sword, and then it got taken off when it became clear you meant the hammer?
No, I did not notice that at all. And if I did notice, I would not shame our trackers. They work way too hard.
Oh, I wasn't shaming our trackers. I was shaming you.
I'm only joking. And yeah, shame me, because I do deserve it. Mikan will be heading into this house here. Very commonly forgotten single entrance, especially when you come over here without the hammer. Just because it's something you don't check in the normal vanilla game ever, so easily forgotten, but they only had 40 bucks in there. And a chance of a random potion.
Yeah, I would definitely include that on a list of commonly forgotten entrances. I think I've made several lists and excluded it because it's so forgettable that I forgot to include it on the forgotten list.
That sounds accurate. That's awesome. Ooh, awesome. Thieves Town check. I'm excited. Okay. Can we get an actual randomized game, please? Thieves Town is Thieves Town. I think Mikan's probably very excited to see this dungeon, too.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's boring, but in terms of what helps them, I can't imagine a dungeon more advantageous with their current equipment.
No, not the most difficult one. You got enough hearts to complete it. You know you'll get everything taken care of the first trip you're here. I would be happy to see.
Meanwhile, it looks like Palace of Darkness didn't really give Solski anything of note other than the Master Sword, which, I mean, the Master Sword's cool and all, but it's not really the sort of thing that's progressing you in the scene.
You can check tablets now when he has his book. That book was not.
It was in Blind's house. I don't remember offhand where Blind's house was.
I'm thinking that was over in Shield House, so that's a very interesting area to overlook. And there was a mirror in Pod as well, so that's actually really helpful.
Oh, I missed the mirror. Yeah, that's incredibly worth it. Never mind. Pod was all the value.
Pod always having the mirror. Pod and Misery Mire, I feel like those two are likely candidates to hold the mirror for some reason.
Prier did make the trip back for one chest in Desert before he heads to Dark World. Ended up being, I would say, very worth it. Flippers they're an item you can spend a long time hunting.
Yeah, especially if there's not too many things, gated by the flippers. Yeah, in the end, that could turn into basically just looking for an ice rod or a bow. Those kind of items.
And, when you try to think too much about the logic and you haven't found the flippers and you don't end up checking what's at Ice Palace and it's Ganon's tower, things spiral,
Yeah, no, that's a very good point, actually. Of course, Ganon's tower, that's something you bring up. We haven't found that yet.
Though, in fairness, we've only actually checked a couple of dungeon entrances. We've seen only, what's it, Eastern Thieves, Pod, and Swamp?
Yes, we're missing 4 right now, so... everyone they find, that's not it, it lowers the chance, and... I guess... We haven't seen any pendant dungeons, though, so... I guess that kind of helps our cause a little bit there. If we had seen all 3 pendant dungeons, I think that was the case that eliminates it being out in the open.
Yeah, that is correct, because just like in the standard item randomizer, it's a guarantee that you can reach every item in the game if you put enough effort into it. And since you need all 7 crystals to open whatever dungeon's at Ganon's tower, obviously it couldn't be a crystal dungeon there.
I think Solski was just about to make the play on Ice Palace until he looked at his magic, and then he said, you know what, this is not the best idea for me right now.
We don't have sound. I kind of suspect he didn't look at his magic so much as he heard a beep.
It looks like enough to cast Bombos there, but I could be wrong.
You need a quarter of a bar to cast Bombos without half magic.
You can only cast it 4 times?
Yeah, I mean, you can only use the Fire Rod 8 times, and Bombos cost twice as much.
I guess that makes sense. It looks close, I don't know. It might be that. Either way, I think with that little magic, just getting past that first room, I'd still be thinking about, you know, the other rooms I have to use it on too. Mikan and Haiku seem to be doing alright in Thieves Town. Looks like we're gonna have a little bit of a synchronized boss fight here.
Well, Solski's remembering the Mimic Cave. This is the sort of thing that can really trip people up playing the entrance randomizer, is you find some cave you can do something with. Here it's just a piece of heart, but it could have been better. You don't remember where it is, and then re-exploring the world for it. So it's always good to have those caves you have to return to in mind, make a note, or just remember them well. And yeah, he marked one off his list.
Yeah. My favorites, you know, when you find, say, like Big Bomb or Sash or something like that, you talk to them to get the info on what the green pendant is, and then while you're writing that down in your tracker, you forget to write down where that actual location is, and then that ruins your run. But how many times has that happened to me? Yeah.
I mean, you beat me in a race by 15 minutes because of that.
Oh, right, that happened to you. I mean, that still happens to me all the time. I wasn't trying to refer. I forgot about that, sorry. Too soon? My bad.
Yeah, rip me. Ooh, we find the sick kid in quarantine here in this bombable house.
He stole his shoes! His feet are gonna get cold while he's in bed.
I mean, let's be real, he's pretty sick. He's not running anywhere either way.
You broke open the door so the monsters can get in, and now he has no way to escape from them. So rude.
So boots are a little more fun than in outside of entrance randomizer, because there's actually 4 boots blocked entrances in the world. The 2 people think of because they have items in vanilla, and then the 2 by Link's house in both worlds that are on the short list of easily forgotten entrances.
Oh, most definitely. That'd be really nice for Solski whenever he finds his boots or makes his way down there, because he actually has the mirror. So he could, I mean, that's 2 easy checks you can knock out right there. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're checking all these entrances, you want to make sure you're being as efficient as possible. And I think Solski is going to make his way into Blind's house here and finally get his book.
And I mentioned it much earlier, how Prier with his lamp was the only one who could finish Desert whenever he got to Hera when he got to Dark World. I think we're about to see that.
Yeah, this will be new territory for us as well.
Both items in Hera were blocked behind that fire source, so there's 2 different opportunities to get something pretty important here.
Mikan's showing us the Dark World bunk racks here. Didn't really get any value out of it, just a random house. Random empty house.
I believe it's the Lumberjack's house.
Is it? Okay. Man, I don't know anything. What's vanilla, what's real or not anymore. Random has changed my brain.
In fairness, I don't think most people who played vanilla know whose house that is either.
Okay, thank you. I feel better now.
Yeah, some of these random houses you don't really visit or random caves have little things you can take advantage of, but that one pretty much has nothing for you.
I actually looked at a map of like every single one of those, especially when the entrance shuffle tournament started, to see if there were any relevant drops in those pots or anything. And I really didn't see anything I liked too much, so that's probably why I never saw anybody ever go in them.
Yeah, like there's the one that has the portraits of poultry, so that can be helpful. There's the one random Dark World hint cave that if you have a bomb, you can get 2 more. That's about it.
Then there's the one where you can powder the pot and a lady appears. That was a strange one.
I wonder if her text is English in the randomizer these days.
I think it is. She says... I don't remember what she says. Or she says like hacker. Something hacker. It was a very unusual thing. Solski is making a huge play here. Well... actually... I question this play. Okay, yeah, he's changing his mind. He was able to get up here at the top to, you know, finish desert if he wanted to, but he doesn't have a fire source. But we got a rod over in this cave over here.
Our resolution isn't super great on the restream chat. Was that... Oh, yeah, ice rod. The less exciting of the 2 rods, though you might not feel that way if it's the only thing you need at 2 hours in.
Especially when you have a pendant turtle rock, you're just like, come on, man. Prier just finished a Moldorm. I imagine we'll probably have an item from him, just 20 bucks, but you did get the crystal out of the way.
I mean, that's kind of the nice thing about doing, especially a linear crystal dungeon like Hera. You can't really get a bust, because worst case scenario, you got something you needed. Oh man, my buddy the Grassman, he's just hanging out under the bonk rocks by Link's house. I mean, the downside is he doesn't give you an item, but he enriches your run in other ways, I think.
I'm just gonna have to take your word for that one. Haiku got his flippers, or excuse me, his lamp, and then Mikan got his flippers. No, Solski did. Excuse me. We'll get there.
Well, Haiku's about to check the one chest in Hookshot Cave you can check with just the boots. Yeah, it's never anything good for me either.
Where's Solski going?
I'm not sure Solski knows.
If he was looking to drop down, you can do it to the left there. But I feel like he's already checked that spot. Well, Haiku's taking a visit to your friend as well. Well, important to know, we haven't found mitts yet. Things we haven't seen our runners do. No one's really dared Ice Palace yet. Technically, if everyone was able to congregate and get, you know, all the items that we found so far, they could get enough stuff to finish Desert, which would open Big Bomb, but problem being with that is I don't think we know where the Big Bomb vendor is.
No, we haven't seen it, and at this point we've seen most of the entrances available, so it's likely he's in the Maya region.
Yeah, I think the Maya region's going to have a lot of value too. If I recall off the top of my head, I don't remember seeing Hype Cave either. I could be wrong on that. There's a lot going on, but that's a pretty high value spot that kind of try to keep track of when you're playing.
Yeah, you always try to keep track of, like, it's nearly impossible to actually remember every cave with items and whether you've really seen them, but you want to remember at least the ones that have more than one chest, and I think we've seen all of those other than Hype Cave, and it's one of the biggies. It's a 5-1. It's also interesting that every runner has a medallion, but only one, and they're not the same ones.
I think Mikan might be our first runner to get the pair of them here. If he elects to do the Death Warp. He still doesn't have his lamp, though. Yeah, I'm starting to think there might be a little bit of value over in Ice Palace at this point with what we've seen so far.
I would say hycutype's going to be our first one to get his medallion pair because he's choosing to reach this chest from the back. It's a little slower than doing it from the front if you're going to do the front anyway, but in entrance, the advantage of this is the back's very easy to find, whereas the front, that can be an adventure.
Oh, nice little pose there by Solski. Nailed that frame. Alright, a pair of medallions. What do you do next, Haiku?
I'm thinking you're right that Ice Palace is very likely to have what they need, but, you know, from any one of their perspectives, they can still keep doing things the others have done, and I don't think everyone still has good stuff to find in those locations, you know?
Yes, yeah, I think with what we've seen, I mean, you know, we've kind of been watching everyone do, you know, their separate routes, and it's not like there's one route that's been correct here. The stuff has been pretty scattered about, but I think here in a few minutes, I think everyone's pretty much going to converge on top of each other.
Yeah, like Haiku's going toward the bow, which is a pretty hard item to complain about finding. Where was the mushroom? Because only half of our runners appear to have found it.
I think the mushroom was from the bottle vendor. So yeah, that's kind of a tricky place there. Once you
man, that is...
Yeah.
Chips have been sunk on that bottle vendor.
Oh, be pretty unfortunate. I mean, Solski's right next to him right now, you know. That's something you... Right now, they've got so many things going on in their mind. You know, the simplest things, they can kind of escape you sometimes.
The bottle vendor in particular really catches people, because you go to CAC really early in Entrance Shuffle, almost always, because it just has so much stuff. But you often don't have 100 rupees, and you're thinking about the million complicated things you have to deal with. You don't remember just going back and paying the man.
Yeah, sometimes in the middle of a run, if I'm feeling a little stuck, I'll go talk to him a couple extra times just to be sure, you know. He says, dude, you already have it. And I'm not referring to our trackers today, which is Dude and Jeff Dude. It's a different dude. There's 3 dudes in this game right now. So Solski's and Skull, that will get him his Ether. Mikan will be doing his bonk for his piece to heart, and Haiku will be able to find a mirror over here in Pod and a Master Sword.
Of particular note, Pod is vanilla, and Haiku will have the option to just mirror after Pod and go straight into Ice Palace, which, honestly, in his possession, might be very appealing.
I think you're right about that. That's a pretty solid play there. And I mean, you know, the only other option that I remember being available to him would just be going to finish Desert, but there's probably not too much value in doing that. I mean, he's already been there and gotten the flippers, and I think you said the other item was there too, so it just opens up Big Bomb to him, but he knows he hasn't seen it, so yeah, I could see him doing Ice.
Yeah, like, he still has a little more stuff to check. Like, he hasn't been up to the Catfish area to find his Ice Rod, which all our other runners have, but, you know, you don't think one single entrance cave and one fixed item is going to be more valuable than a dungeon you can full clear, usually.
And it's a dungeon that, you know, completing is 100% mandatory as well. You might as well do it, but it really just depends on how comfortable you are with it. I did see him stock up on potions, though, when he was at the potion shop. So he had made an extra trip there to do that. I think Ice Palace after this was probably in his plan.
It would make a lot of sense. And I really do like having the humility to buy potions, because, you know, a lot of people get proud playing games like this, and they just don't want to do that sort of thing, but dying to Cold Stare is a million times slower than buying a potion.
You're 100% right. And I don't... You'd be hard-pressed to find very many runners in this community that, you know, want to do... at least for what they know, a fighter sword Cold Stare with 7 hearts and green mail just for fun. Hell,
Yeah, and speaking of not being up toward the catfish area, hycutype still hasn't found his blue mails, so it's even more dangerous for him than it would be for everyone else.
He hasn't gotten his blue mail yet? They must be really short on money this run if he didn't go to the Zora area, because I think that's where it was, unless he just opted to skip it while he was there.
Oh man, Prier got a really dumb pixel there in Skullwoods.
Oh, for the switch block? Yeah, those things are the worst. Something I was curious about, I've been meaning to check his menu, but I noticed Solski does not have pod necessarily completed. I wonder if he bailed out and didn't want to do the turtle room without a lamp, which he still hasn't found yet. Because I actually
really worry about that lamp for our 2 runners who didn't find the mushroom, because the more and more the world opens up to them, the less and less likely they are to talk to the bottle vendor.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue, and that will become a very big issue if, say, something like the fire rod is locked behind that lamp.
Yeah, if they can get the fire rod, I'd be a lot less worried for them, because the lamp's going to make the game harder not to have it, but I fully trust that it's within Solski and Mikan's abilities to complete the game without a lamp if they have to. But no amount of willpower is going to light a torch without the fire rod or the lamp.
That is 100% correct there. Aiku finishes Pelmosaur there, so that'll be his 2nd crystal. And he got a mirror to boot, so that's pretty nice. I don't know. Solski has the mirror. I don't think he's gone up to Hera, though, to check what's up there. So that's another option that they have available to him that could be more appealing than Ice Palace at this stage of the game.
That is a valid point, that you could go and check whatever's up at Hera, but what dungeon would you want to find there?
That's a great question as well.
Because you don't have the Canis Samaria, so you're not going to be able to finish Mire unless you have some silly vanilla cane. The back of Skull we know is the green pendant.
I wouldn't be too upset.
Ganon's Tower, you can't go down either side by logic. You can sequence break down the left side. Maybe that's worth it.
Eastern Palace, you know, it's a pendant, but you could finish it up. Or Swamp Palace.
Yeah, Eastern wouldn't be so bad. It's a pendant, but yeah, you do have the tools for it at least. But, you know, I just look at those range of options of what you could find, and I think about Ice Palace, and I'm like, is Ice worse than any of these unknown options?
That's a great argument, too. I mean, I think in hindsight, I would just be saying, like, yeah, I should have went to Ice Palace, but I think if I was doing this race, I'd be like, I don't want to go to Ice Palace. Give me some more stuff. Give me a hook shot at least.
Oh yeah, Swamp is our last option, and finding Swamp when I have everything to do it other than the hook shot and entrance it's a bad feeling. Because you're like, I really don't want to just leave and have to backtrack here. I'm already in the front door. But man, doing Swamp basically in its entirety twice is painful.
Yeah, do I really want to spend 5 minutes getting these 2 pieces of art? Solski's up here in the graveyard ledge.
We'll say
check this or not. I don't think so.
All 4 of our runners have had kind of a similar tactical idea, where they've really prioritized overworld over dungeons to avoid those backtracks. But that graveyard ledge is Hype Cave, and it has a Cane of Samaria and a red mail.
And Powder
and
was
a Powder, so it was completely hype.
Only him and Haiku are the only 2 runners right now that have access to that Cane of Samaria.
The Cane can be more important early on in entrance than outside of entrance, but in this particular seed, it doesn't really look that way. None of the Cane dungeons appear to have shuffled anywhere early.
No, I mean, I will say if I did go up to Hera and I found Misery Mire, I would much rather do that than Ice Palace at this current point of the game.
I might not if I were Solski and didn't have a fire source.
That would change things a little bit, but...
Solski's going here, probably really hoping this is Turtle Rock. Yeah, I just found my Cane, gonna jump into Turtle Rock, and we'll see what we can do. Oh no, it's the castle.
And hycutype made liars out of us. He's actually coming up here to finish Desert. So he elected to not do Ice Palace at this current time.
I mean, finishing Desert isn't that bad. With Silver Arrows, he has the best equipment you could possibly have to fight Landmalice, and he needs the Crystal. But maybe he's just doing this on his way, and he's going to check the Catfish area.
Yeah, that's great routing. Might as well, you're here. I suppose like the super ultimate routing would be to finish this after you do Agatu, but I mean, for all they know, that could be vanilla, so you'd have to do this first.
I mean, for all hycutype knows, the Dark World Potion Shop's going to be the Big Bomb Cave, and he can pick it up there and return it. We know that's not the case, but he doesn't.
That's true, too. I think where that Cane of Samaria was located, that's kind of a little bit of a troll location, too. I mean, only 2 of our runner, 3 of them now, because Mikan just got his mirror over in Pod, but I think Graveyard Ledge, that'd be like one of the last places I would be interested in going. Especially super late in the game when I've checked so many single entrances and for the most part found most of the premium spots. I love the Frozen Guard to kill the ball and chain guy.
So it's not as unappealing if you're in hycutype or Mikan situation where you have the mirror and the boots, because you're actually checking 2 caves at once.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, because they could sneak through way into the backside of King's Tomb. Solski taking a little bit of a long pause there, looking at the map, weighing his options. I think he might be heading up to Hera.
So from a viewer perspective, this is a really important moment because we're about to learn where another dungeon is. Even better, I'm pretty sure it's not vanilla, and if it is vanilla, then you definitely have permission to yell at me because we've already seen Hera at Swamp.
2 Heras! Did you even program that in the game? That would be kind of interesting.
Oh, it's easy. I mean, I've already threatened people who complain about things landing vanilla with giving them a seed where every entrance is Misery Mire.
I would love that, actually. That would be really funny. Those items that you get in that Misery Mire are what you need to go to the other dungeon locations that are locked to get and finish your other Misery Mire. I think you could actually probably get a pretty good chain on that.
You could do as much stuff as you can do with, like, whatever 8 chests are in Misery Mire, because they're all the same Misery Mire.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've got another Plando on our hands coming soon. So Eastern Palace was up in Nera.
I mean, this is just a pendant But it is the dungeon that he had all the tools to full clear, so this could work out.
So Hyku had not been up to this area before, so he was actually just flat broke this whole entire seed, which is probably why he had neglected it for so long.
I always like that little graphical glitch when you don't actually grab King Zora's item, watching the bomb capacity turn into a blue mail.
Yeah. For some reason, this game really doesn't like having 2 items on the same screen for some reason. At least I remember someone telling me about that. I'm actually not too tech savvy with how this game works, but, you know, I'm learning it as my, you know, time here playing 5 million of these runs.
I mean, what do you expect from early 90s programming on, like, a 16-bit computer?
Everything.
Sounds reasonable.
Thank you. I'm not an unreasonable person. I just want everything. Alright, let's see what the bottle of Fat Fairy gives us. Ah, green potion. So the Skinny Fairy is the greedy one. Just keep missing the big key there. And Hyku has made his way into Ice Palace. The dungeon we've all been itching to see. Prier's gonna get his boots over here from the sick kid. Steal his shoes. Oh, you almost got that bomb strat. That one penguin just lagged behind just a little bit, so he didn't go into the blast radius. There's Quake. Hycutype wins the coin collecting race.
You know, I'm never dissatisfied to see medallions before I even have access to the 2 medallion areas.
Especially in entrance shuffle, you know, you never know what's going to be there, and it's like the worst feeling, like, I'm in hypothetical go mode if I could find this dungeon, and, you know, lo and behold, you have to go on some magical adventure that takes you another hour just to figure out a way to get into the last dungeon you need that, you know, you've been in go mode for an hour. I hate it.
No, you love it.
You're not right, actually. Solski's coming back around to his big chest to get his piece of hearty tried the sequence break.
Have you been tracking Hera? Do you know if Armos Knights have an item?
No, I have not.
Because I'm pretty sure that so far Solski's found no value in Eastern, so if that keeps up, this could really work against him, and it could work against Mikan, who's heading the same way.
Yeah, there's still, I think, one other item they can get here up in the mountain. I was going to say, there's the tablet. I don't remember if he did this yet or not. And then I think if they head east, surely Spectacle Rock or some way to get that item has to be over there. Whether it's dropping down to the, you know, the right cave 50-50 to figure out which one it is. There is going to be an item there. Who knows what it is, though.
There will be an item. It may or may not take a very long time to get to it, though it's not even a guarantee this is the way to it, because they could have to mirror at the top of Bumper Cave to get that item.
Oh, you're not wrong. If they can't get to it, though, they'll at least know what it is. I think that's guaranteed.
Yeah, they'll be able to, at a minimum, see it. Most likely just get it.
Yeah,
it looks like the closest thing to value in Eastern Palace was a red pendant, so that was a pretty disappointing dungeon.
I mean, that's 1/3 of a way to a shovel, but I don't think that's exactly what he's looking for this run.
I don't think he was looking for those dead rocks either.
Alright, so here's see what you can get. Just a red rupee. I think that's everything in Death Mountain there, then.
I would observe We still haven't seen the Dark Death Mountain Ascent Cave, have we?
Alright, Prier's just gonna go kill Ganon. Just kidding, guys.
He's only 5 crystals and a Master Sword short.
Oh, were you talking about Super Bunny Cave?
Yeah.
No, we haven't seen Super Bunny Cave. That was something I was just thinking about now. I don't know where it would be at, though. Unless they saw one of the entrances or exits, Spectacle Rock, on the lower part of the mountain, then I guess technically there still could be a multiple entrance cave up there somewhere, but if we didn't see that, that means that I guess they would all have to be up there somewhere. Because we've seen everything except for, I guess, Spiral Cave and the one next to it, and then the top of the mountain, or Death Mountain Ascent.
So, hycutype's almost done with Ice Palace, and so far we haven't seen anything. If the mitts aren't here, and we know they're not in Eastern, the question is quickly becoming, where are the mitts?
Yeah, that's getting kind of interesting here. You know where they could be?
I don't think we've checked the South of Grove cave that you can mirror on.
What if the mitts are at Magic Badge? That's 100% possible. I'm not crazy. Wow, that would just be the worst. Like, that's so bad, I hope it's true.
It is actually possible. I don't know if any of our runners have all of the pieces. Or no, hycutype has all of the pieces.
He doesn't have the powder.
But yeah, so no runner has all of the pieces for that, but we're getting there. The good news is if that is the answer, that's going to really constrain the search space before our top 2 runners find the lamp.
Aww. Wow, that's a big goose egg for my... Or, never mind. Sorry, I'm like getting my screens mixed up. That was 300 rupees from Mikan. Haiku is fighting Cold Stare, not the other way around. Using hammer strats, he's got 1.5 hearts left. 1 hit will take him out here. He does have potions, if I recall, but he's opting not to use them. He's feeling pretty confident in his Cold Stare fight here. Hopefully more confident.
You should really just drink the potion.
That's really what I'm thinking here. At least do it for my own sake here. I'm holding my breath here and trying to commentate at the same time.
Half a heart, dude! You're gonna die!
I mean, maybe he doesn't have that potion, or maybe he just really wants to show off. He's almost got it here. Then he shows us he knows what he's doing.
And he gets a fire rod.
That's huge. Yeah, that's really nice there. That will open up Skull Woods to him, which is a brand new dungeon we haven't seen.
Though in a kind of twisted way, it's a bad find for him because it means that lamp is not strictly required.
I think that's a good thing. I would really hate to see a run.
I mean, I'm happy that the lamp is not strictly required because I don't want to see people knocked out because they forgot to check the bottle vendor. But if you're hycutype and you didn't forget, I mean, you're probably not too unhappy about others' misfortune, you know?
I don't know. I'm always happy, you know, when someone I'm racing against makes mistakes, but I don't know if the bottle vendor is quite the mistake I would want to wish upon them.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very picky.
Are you telling me that later, whenever you play TGH, you wouldn't be upset if he, you know, missed a key item at the bottle vendor that won you the race?
I would be able to sleep at night.
I think that's a different situation there. That's something I would agree with you on that one then.
If TGH is watching, he should know he's free to forget any number of obvious locations.
So Aiku's immediately found his way over to Hera, so he'll finish this up, and this will be his 5th crystal, believe it or not. We do still have to finish Misery Mire, Swamp Palace, and the Agatu over at Ganon's Tower. So when you say 5th crystals, it makes you kind of seem like you're almost done, but it's kind of that weird nuance of like, he still needs to do these 3 other things that we also have no idea where they're at. And Mikan appears to be stumped a little bit here.
And in terms of the items, like, Haiku has everything important we've seen other than the Cane of Samaria. And he'll definitely still need the hookshot and the mitts, which are still at large.
I think after that, though, if you did find the hookshot and the mitts, then I don't see why that wouldn't be go mode for him. Yeah, you shouldn't.
We're running out of places to find the mitts, but the hookshot could be anywhere.
Yeah. Oh man, what if Alright, so here's what I think. I think that Ganon's Tower is over at Skull Woods. And I think the hookshot's going to be on the right side.
Oh, see, I thought you were going to say the hookshot was an upper GT.
That's a possibility. I think it's going to be over on the right side, though.
I think whatever dungeons at Skullwoods is going to contain the mitts, and the hookshot's going to be mitts blocked, is my read on the seed.
Dungeon could be over there. I guess you have Skullwoods. That could be, you know, an alright one. Misery Mire's fine. Even Turtle Rock right now. Well, they can't be Turtle Rock, excuse me. I'm losing my mind. Or Swamp Palace. Yeah, I guess.
I think Misery Mire is actually best case scenario for the runners based on what we know.
Oh, Misery Mire would be really nice. I mean,
Misery Mire is always nice, to be fair, but it would be especially nice now.
It wouldn't be very nice for Haiku to find it, because I do think that might be somewhere he goes pretty quick. But I think when he comes up empty there, he'll probably head over to Graveyard Ledge relatively quickly. I think worst case scenario for him is if the mitts do happen to land there, because that opens up a lot of the map to him right before he makes his way over to Graveyard Ledge to get his cane.
Haiku might just do a North Dark World route before going to the Skullwoods entrance, because, you know, that Skullwoods dungeon, it's one that's really easy to put off, because it's kind of a pain in the rear end.
Yeah. I mean, that would definitely be the best case scenario. It's just, again, like the whole, oh, there's the mitts. Where is it?
I really like Solski bombing him like he's been trolled when he had them first.
Okay, so that's over in
South of Grove
Grove
Ledge, and hycutype is right behind.
So, and it's over at Chicken House, just locked by the mirror as well. Wow, these mirror lock locations are huge right now.
And Mikan getting the better sequencing, finding Hype Cave beforehand, getting his safety items, and probably most importantly, that red cane.
Okay, well, I guess at this point, the only thing we're looking for is a hook shot. You know, as far as the whole here.
Hycutype returning the blacksmith. Definitely one of the things that's really easy to put off for a really long time when he doesn't land somewhere convenient.
Yeah, he's over at, he moved to Agina's house, if I recall. Might as well go ahead and knock out these bonk rocks while we're here.
A little bit of a Frog World tour. I know those are always popular. Sadly, he's not using his mirror to introduce the frog to the grass man, so that's just an unfortunate event.
Mikan's doing a very long map check as well, and I see the problem that he's having right now. He doesn't have bombos, so he can't finish Ice Palace, but he does have his mirror, so he could just go to the other mirror slot and get his mids. But the reason he doesn't have his bombos is because he probably doesn't want to go in there and sequence break until he gets his lamp.
Trying to will himself into the Mire region, but it's not quite working out.
That thing you said about, you know, willing yourself to light a torch, I guess you can't will yourself to pick up a heavy rock either. Tough game, guys. They make it look easy.
I mean, those rocks are really heavy. Looks like Mikan is gonna brave the dark sewers. He'll get rewarded for it.
Yeah, that would get him bombos, but I still think in the back of his mind he's gonna be like, where's that lamp? Come on, what's going on here? But I mean, if
he'll expect to find something to progress him in Ice Palace with his bombos, and that's not going to be how it'll be. But well, he'll be happy to have the fire rod.
Yeah, I mean, the fire rod is essentially all you need. You don't necessarily need that lamp, so this could be. I mean, I would say it's almost a fortuitous situation, because if you feel like you're stuck, you find an item. I mean, you're probably going to chase its logic path down a little bit. But he still needs the mids over at South Shore location, which I'm hoping he didn't forget about either. Or not South Shore, South of Grove. Man, Haiku is taking this frog back to his natural habitat. This is actually really smart of him to do this, because he can check all of these single entrance caves. We've also found Ganon's Tower. I'm assuming this was over at Skull Woods. Or no, this could have been any location. I didn't see where he entered with his mids. This could be Ice Palace too. I'm going to defer to chat on this one, and that's an early big key, so he can go ahead and climb if he wants to.
So the dream is still alive.
Hook shot at the top, is that the dream?
It is. It's like the trolliest thing that can happen, really.
I still think...
your Magic Bat required scenario is trollier, but this is still pretty trolly.
Magic Bat is the absolute worst. Alright, so that means the green pendant will not be required this evening. So, hope that doesn't break anybody's hearts. This is really unfortunate for Solski that he's trying to sequence break over here, because this whole entire area is not required by, you know, the items that we know that he needs.
If he makes it all the way to the end, it's all good, because he could need what's behind Ice Armos, and it just intends him to go from the right.
Yeah, pretty much from these
but
blocks.
Solski's making this hard on himself by not just doing the boots route.
Yeah, this is the easy way to get over, and you can still bonk here. Yeah, you can completely get over here without doing all of Stolfos denied him there. Yeah, getting to the Stolfos room, that's where you need to do a bomb jump, but you can get all the way down without using one. The part where you have to hook shot the chest to get over, you need to do a bomb jump there, but that'll get you all the way to the rando room.
Yeah, and you can just kind of bonk around in a circle, and you only have to do one bomb jump to reach the Stolfos room. The bomb jump Solski's trying to do here, it's possible, but it's a nasty one.
It's really difficult to set up, because you have to trick the AI into making you land on that one tile there, because the pot that kind of knocks you off. This is Misery Meyer watching Solski struggle with the bomb jump, so I completely missed this. I imagine this has to be over at Skull Woods. I don't know where else it would be.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be vanilla because hycutype was in the Mire region. We saw him taking the frog for a swim.
Exactly what I meant. Oops. Okay, so by that, I can conclude that Swamp Palace is over at Skull Woods. We've done it.
It's kind of unfortunate. 2 of our runners have found the Cana Samaria. 2 of our runners have found Misery Mire, and there is no overlap.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. The 2 people without the cane are not the 2 that are, or the 2 with the cane are not the ones in Mire. All right, so 3 vanilla dungeons. Could be better.
Hey, we have a lot of people new to the entrance randomizer, and this is nice to help them out a little, you know.
This has been a good, I would say, medium-level seed. I mean, I wouldn't say this is the easiest Simple Shuffle I've seen. Most definitely not the hardest one that we've seen. This is probably about average, I'd say.
We get a probably required Blue Cane and Mirror Shield from the Rando room.
Required for what, to look cool?
I mean, hey, you're opening up the Laser Bridge, you're opening up Spike Cave, all those fun things that you could otherwise do with other harder methods.
I guess that's true. I'd rather just all but avoid Total Rock, but I mean, that's a seemingly probable place for the hookshot to land at this point.
I mean, if you really think about it, and especially because we've seen so much of Mire, isn't it seeming like just the most likely place for hookshot to be?
I mean, yeah, definitely a possibility. I mean, it's tough because I know where it's at. It's in the Magic Bat at in the Lumberjack. I don't know that, but I figure if I believe hard enough, it'll be true in my heart.
It will definitely be true in your heart. Whether it's true in the game is a somewhat different question.
No, if I believe hard enough, I'll make it true at both. Wow, someone's got a blue cane emote in chat. I love it.
Solski teasing us with the blue boomerang ice armor skill. A staple of the entrance randomizer for sure. But then he just pulls out his bow and silver arrows.
Yeah, I think it takes, what, 50 hits with the boomerang to kill one of those? But yeah, you actually can kill the Armos with just a boomerang. Is someone's Plando taught me, and that is actually the first time I learned that, so you can take 100% credit for that.
Yeah, almost everything affects the Armos. Some weapons are more useful than others.
Believe it or not, Cane of Myrna does a really good number on Armos.
Oh, I know it. My personal favorite, and it's kind of a boring one because you have it frequently, is just Beam Sword. It actually just shreds them.
I love Beam Swords.
And did someone quote it and write it down? Ack just said, quote, I love Beam Swords.
I love Beam Swords. For Ice Armos. Please, context. I say enough stupid stuff to quote me out of context. You don't need to use that one specifically. I'll give you plenty of other ones.
So, can Prier hover?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. I feel like he can. But
if
I mean,
he can, the play he's making is a play I 100% agree with. If he can't, let's just say there's some risk.
Yeah, he'll make his way through the gauntlet here. He'll, you know, get all the way up to Moldorm. You know, you can open those 3 chests and hope that the hook shot is there. But yeah, if you can't hover, then, well, that ends your journey, and you just have to come back another time when you found the hook shot.
I think we've concluded that the cave behind Moldorm is the uncle, right?
Yes. So the hook shot's not going to be there either. But
It won't, but you could easily find a tempered sword there. You have 2 chances, 2-item cave.
That's true. I was actually half expecting Solski to pick some sword upgrades on his adventure on the left side there. That seemed like a good spot to put him.
Looks like hycutype's found Spike Cave. Definitely one of everyone's favorite caves to find.
Electing not to even bother with it. Oh, that's over on Dark Death Mountain, which we haven't seen yet. Here's Super Bunny Cave, finally making an appearance, as vanilla as can be.
It's really a shame for this to be here in the Light World. Super Bunny Cave is one of my favorite caves to find early in the game. 2 chests and a fill-up.
Yeah, the early magic is nice. I'm not a fan of the cave, though. I hate one-way caves for traveling. Really annoying.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be Spiral Cave, which is difficult, longer, and doesn't fill your magic and only gives 1 item.
And I've seen it happen. That was your way to get up top of the mountain. That was a lot of fun, doing that 600 times. Well, there's Bumper Cave. That was the backup Bumper Cave. You can hookshot across that, and what that would have given him there would be access to the top of the floating island, but he probably doesn't need that heart container.
It was actually ACMLM who taught us all that that's even possible.
Yeah, I think I did watch that clip. That was really a nifty trick there. Oh, there's the cape over in the top of GT. And Solski's found his way to Mire, and he is probably going to be the first runner to be able to complete that because he's got the items for it. Haiku is just probably going to go ahead and, I guess, check out Turtle Rock and see if he can find a hookshot here.
I'm pretty sure Haiku found both items in Mire, so he doesn't see that crystal as a high priority.
Has he been? Yeah, I guess he had been inside of it, but I guess he didn't have his cane yet.
Prier's certainly posturing like he can hover.
I mean, he has to, because he doesn't have a hookshot and he knows he doesn't have it. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh no.
That is a pretty hefty time loss. That gauntlet is not quick, and there's no way Prier looks at the cape as a good payoff.
I think Mikan tried to communicate with us telepathically. I'm not sure if you saw that little message that briefly appeared on screen.
Nah, I totally missed it. What did it say?
It said, I have no idea where the lamp is, guys. Pretty unfortunate. Well, we know where it's at, and I mean, well, no spoilers, but, you know, I'm sure if you watched the VOD, you'll already realize you could have had that lamp a lot quicker.
hycutype had a pretty tragic torch room here in Turtle Rock.
You know, I must have missed that. I feel like one of our runners checked this, but Big Bomb was available to them relatively early. As soon as they had the mirror, they could have done Big Bomb, because it was over there in the single entrance in Dark Death Mountain.
Though based on everything we've seen, I'm not really sure that Big Bomb's even an item.
No, it's one of the least probable percentage plays an entrance shuffle, I think, because I mean you can literally take it all the way there just to, you know, find some old lady's house. It's not guaranteed to be any value.
I feel like we haven't seen that many of the healer fairies yet.
Yeah, there's that too. I will say off the top of my head, I can't think of any single entrance cave with items that we've missed. So, but I haven't been trying my best to keep track of them either. Nothing rings a bell.
Even when I'm playing and only have one person's stream to look at, I can't keep straight which single item caves I've found, so no way I know here. So Haiku just give up on Turtle Rock?
I guess so.
We know Eastern's not going to have anything for him. Turtle Rock had a chance.
I guess he didn't necessarily want to commit to the entirety of it. Maybe he thinks that it's not within the realms of the logic either, because of he has no invincibility items either.
We know that the cape is available within the logic.
Yeah, so that would definitely give him access to it within the logic. But I mean, that was very close to almost being a valid point there, especially from Solski's end. Like, if he would have, say, found the cape in the rando room also, you could all but eliminate Total Rock from being a possibility to have the hook shot, just because everything in there was gated by it.
It will be pretty spectacular if the logic expected you to do the gauntlet twice, though in practice, I can imagine very few runners who wouldn't either laser skip or face tank lasers as opposed to doing the gauntlet twice.
Yeah. No, yeah, I would rather just do the laser bridge and get it over with. I will say, though, I don't know if I would be confident enough with my ability of reading the seed to determine whether or not, like, any one of these 3 invincibility items were what was gating me from doing this. I mean, if I was there, I would just do it anyways, because I would assume that they were probably available somewhere else that I haven't checked.
That, and for all you know, like, the item you need in Turtle Rock could be in, like, the roller pin room, and then it's just a moot point.
That's true, too, yeah. But either way, Turtle Rock still is a pretty big time investment, so I understand it either way.
I have a feeling we'll be seeing a return at some point in the near future.
They got to clear everything out to get over to Batcave.
I mean, let's be real. The hook shot's in Turtle Rock, unless you're right.
I mean, how many items did he check over there? I'm starting to get in the realms of higher than, 10-20% at this point in the game, right? Odds keep going up. I like this. I guess I will say, as far as the race goes right now, though, I would say hycutype probably is just a little bit in the lead. I mean, and he does have the very nice and tangible factor that the only thing he is missing is indeed the hook shot, and he also knows this as well. Whereas the other runners, they're still kind of missing a couple pieces here and there. Looks like Haiku is heading. Looks like Haiku is not heading back over that way. He stopped there for a second. You still there, AA? I haven't heard you in a bit.
Oh, silly me. I was talking without holding a push to talk button. I'm a fool. But yeah, Mikan and hycutype, I think, are actually about on parity with each other. Because, let's just say that the lamp isn't going to matter. And I think Mikan can handle not having the lamp. He has all the same important items, and he's beaten all the same dungeons.
Mikan is still missing the mitts.
Yeah, those are somewhat important, but he's almost out of places to look for him.
That is true. Unfortunately, after that, though, we'd have to go check some of those mitts locations. Haiku's kind of somewhat, checked a couple of them here and there. He's Okay, so he just went ahead and checked out another one of the random entrances on Death Mountain he hadn't seen yet. So he's heading back up. Makes me think he's going to... That's right. No, he's going to do Spike Cave. And then maybe he'll go back to Turtle Rock, or maybe he'll mirror out right here. Who knows? Solski's in the area as well. Crazy to think at an hour and 40 minutes in, you'd see two runners in Spike Cave at the same time.
It's certainly not a place I expect people to go early. Spike Cave pretty much just exists for the player's inconvenience, in my experience.
I don't know. I remember having a race with you once, and the mirror was there.
Oh, just because it's an inconvenient location doesn't mean it's not required.
Okay. So Haiku is back in Ganon's Tower, and he has the tools to check out the 5 chests over here. I don't know if I saw the tile room yet. I know we definitely haven't seen the 4 on the right side, but outside of that, we would have seen everything else in this dungeon. Except for the Stalfosha room, but really not too relevant at this point.
So yeah, we have GT at Ice Palace, and Swamp is found at the back of Skull by Mikan. So we now have every dungeon has been entered by at least one runner, other than back of Skull, which I suspect will never be entered.
Yeah, I think you're probably right on that one. Yeah, I guess the hookshot could just be flat out in Swamp. That would be a very unique advantage to Mikan, I suppose, because
it would make him not finding the mitts actually the best thing that ever happened to him.
That is 100% correct. It's really weird when, that one item trolls that one runner, and then they, go and do all this other stuff that you got sidetracked because you found the mitts earlier. Actually, you have experience with that as well. My race data log here remembers something like that happening.
Because if Mikan's able to find the mitts, or the hook shot here, then the mitts will be his go mode, and mitts are just about the best go mode item you could ever ask for.
Yeah, and so much of the map you don't have to do, and mitts unlocks a lot, and it's a lot of very... I think what makes the mitts just so unfortunate is that the checks that you get from them, they're also very time-consuming. It seems like they all have that in common. There's nothing really easy to check from the mitts outside of, like King's Tomb. Ice Palace takes forever, Turtle Rock takes forever, Mire takes forever. This is referring to Vanilla, of course.
Yeah, from the perspective of the rando, the Mire region and the Ice Palace entrance aren't really bad at all from, if you have the flute. Even if you don't, Ice Palace is one of the fastest entrances to access from a save warp.
Yes, definitely. Haiku's going to be trying again to go to the right side here. Kind of bonked on the door the first time. One of the torches went out. I'm very curious to see what's in these 4 chests. I have a feeling Solski and Mikan are going to be very upset when we end up revealing the news to them where that lamp was. That was a heart container, a bomb upgrade, and then 2 chests I could not see.
Yeah, a little bit of lag on our restream, but
they were not the hook shot.
So whatever they were doesn't really matter.
Alright, so Mikan has made his all the way over to left side Swamp. We'll see if the hook shot's over here. Outside of that, I think we have Turtle Rock, and then we have that one awesome location being in the back cave blocked by Aga 1. Got my fingers crossed.
You know, if it is your troll scenario, that could help put Prier back into this very easily because everyone else might feel pressure to do the gauntlet.
That's true. That is very true. Oh, it's not in swamp. Oh boy. Oh man. This seat's pretty rough.
I don't know if I'd say it's all bad. There's a couple of things that are causing them some trouble, and there aren't a lot of swords.
Where are those swords, actually? Huh.
Like, Turtle Rock almost has to have a sword at this point, right?
I mean, we have 2 items in Skullwoods. We have the validation chest. We have two locations left at Uncle. That's probably a pretty interesting thing. Yeah, if I had only a Master Sword at this point, after I finished Aga 2, I would definitely go in there and talk with him, check those 2 items. Be much faster than doing spins.
And I mean, Half Magic is somewhere out there as well, so that could be a nice little find.
And as far as single entrances, we haven't checked. We have whatever's at Mimic Cave and the Big Bomb.
Mikan seemed really dissatisfied that he'd missed where Sea House was all this time, and then when he finally made his way in, it was just a 20 rupee.
It's a very fun feeling to have when you're playing these runs, when you know, finally remember a location that you haven't, checked yet. Then you go there and find out that it's going to be an item, and you're like, oh, here it is the whole time. And then it's nothing, and then it's like, well, I guess I'm back to the drawing board?
I mean, it's a mix of frustration and relief. Like whenever I find something obvious I didn't get, I'm really frustrated. It's like, man, everyone else had this so early. But then when it's junk, I'm like, oh, I guess it didn't matter. But I'm still in my current predicament.
Wow, that was a dark room at the top of the Death Mountain Ascent. I would imagine that's probably the front end of the escorting the old man. I think it has to be.
Yeah, I think we saw every other dark room on the mountain itself.
Prier will be getting his fire rod. I'll be curious if that leads him.
Mikan continuing to find every item in the world other than mids.
I'll be curious if Prier decides to go directly back to Ganon's Tower, or if he wants to go to Skull Woods, which I'm not certain enough he knows has to be Swamp Palace. Oh, he takes a death there to Cold Stare. That's really unfortunate too, because he has no magic to restart the dungeon. And let's see. He did have a potion. Okay, well he saved it.
And it was just a green too, so it's not like it really would have helped him against the boss. It was actually probably a pretty good call to keep it in his back pocket.
It depends if you wanted to use cape strats or not, because he was electing to do that to finish up the boss. But I guess not dying probably would have been the best way to go about it. But Cold Stare is tough. Okay, Mikan has now found his mitts.
Meanwhile, we have Solski about to give Cold a crack, so that could be interesting.
Wow. Okay, hycutype is now taking a commanding lead. That was the bombable house in the Dark World at the Mimic Cave spot, which indeed had the hook shot. So he's in go mode now. He just needs to finish up Myers Swamp, and he has to go kill Aga 2.
With the remaining question of how many extra chests does he feel like opening looking for another sword?
I think that's probably pretty good news for him, because he's, obviously not going to want to go do left side swamp being in go mode, but you might want to go ahead and check those 3 or 4 that are in, close to the area. We haven't seen any swords yet, so I'd say that's a pretty high percentage chance there. Or those 4 chests in the Stallflush room too. Or Hookshot Cave. Yeah, I guess you know what, those swords do have a couple of places they could be hiding.
I mean, they could be Sahasrara and buried by the shovel.
That's also true too. Oh, wouldn't that be lovely? That takes all 7 crystals. It's basically all the pendants to get your 2 swords. Little framey right now, but Solski, yep, finished up his cold stare, so at an hour 50, he gets his first fire source of the game. Probably still scratching his head, wondering where that lamp is.
Though, I mean, by the time you reach this point, you find the fire rod, you're like, I made a mistake somewhere and it cost me a lamp. I'll live.
Yeah, and I mean, you're kind of hoping it's just the lamp too, not, you know, some multiple entrance cave that has, you know, lamp, hook shot, and, you know, the Triforce in it or something silly like that.
You just missed Hype Cave with lamp, the hook shot, half magic, and the other 2 swords.
Oops. Oh well, maybe next time. Prier is low health again. Okay,
you gotta
so
love those full health beeps, reminding you you're alive, but only barely.
Yeah. We need to talk to whoever generated this seed and get the quarter beeps back. Rip our ears, and he still needs to make his way up to Graveyard Ledge to get his cane, and I'm sure he'd be really happy to have the powder right now, considering he has 1 heart and he has to go fight Cold Stare again. But he can go ahead and hop up this way and just take the I saw him go in there and bomb that switch. Did he not bomb jump because he was low on life, so he's doing this dungeon vanilla? I hope that's not the case. That's pretty unfortunate if it is.
He has the block down, so he can finish the dungeon.
Okay, he's good. Alright, I must have missed that.
I think he just had his switches set wrong, because he was in that room to get some extra magic or something.
Right, no, he had to flip that switch so he could go into the fairy hole. That makes perfect sense.
So Haiku did check the extra chest in Swamp, and still no swords. Those swords are becoming a bit of a point of mystery here.
I know he's more than comfortable to beat Ganon without a Master Sword, but it's always nice to have it tempered. And I mean, probably didn't feel necessarily too happy with his routing. I think all 4 of these runners got trolled by something, some sort, in some different way. It was, for the most part, all different, though. It's kind of the beauty of Entrance Randomizer.
They're all probably really concerned by those bits in particular because, you know, pod at pod with the mirror isn't that unusual, and if mirror's not somewhere terrible, you don't really think about South of Grove as a trolley location, but you know, they were all a little slow to check it, and it turned out to be the bits.
You're absolutely right on that. That was a very good point. Yeah, they're thinking everyone got the mirror early, and I mean, it was the cane and the mitts that were locked by those 2 mirror locations, and I think everyone, like, either got one or the other. No one really got both in quick succession.
Though the way the seed played out, I'm not really convinced that having the mitts early would have worked to your favor, because, you know, there's really nothing you needed in Ganon's Tower or in Mire.
No, you're right on that. I mean, unless, you know, you go to Hookshot Cave and get your Butter Sword, but that probably wouldn't save you as much time as you're losing from exploring all of those dungeons.
Yeah, like, I mean, you could have gone to Turtle Rock and picked up that hook shot earlier, but that's a hard call to make.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, after a certain point, you know Turtle Rock's going to be what you need, but when you still have a lot of other places to look, it's very difficult to make it your first play.
And then in the end, you probably just end up full clearing Swamp too, and Ganon's Tower, and all of that stuff before you, I guess, go over to get your cane or something. Alright. Prier is opening up Skullwoods, where he'll find Swamp Palace. He's doing a pedestal check here too. He'll find his "Can you dig it?" message. And after that, I imagine him probably going into Swamp and doing the left side, which really won't work out that well for him. And Haiku is just a few screens away from getting his 7th crystal.
Looks like Mikan's going to narrowly beat him to the Vitreous clear, but hycutype already having the hook shot and the swamp clear, still in the commanding lead in this race.
And after hycutype gets the 7th crystal, we play a game, you know, where you guess where the big key in Ganon's Tower is, and if you guessed he already has it, you are correct. Because we've already been in there and gotten it. It was very early.
It's actually kind of unusual for Ganon's Tower to be done after 7 crystals. Like, here it makes sense, but a lot of times it's a lot earlier.
Yeah, I do feel like in my history of these seeds, they like to use Ganon's Tower as kind of your stepping stone to progression. You're kind of building your way to slowly climb the tower, and then once you get everything, that's when you kind of finish up finding the rest of the progression to beat the game. I'm getting distracted by Mikan's message again.
I'm entirely convinced that Mikan and Solski are never finding the lamp.
Oh. By the way, we just had our first place finisher, which was Killer App 23. He finished with a time of 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 59 seconds, so sub 157 for him. Congrats to Killer App.
Yeah, you see that a lot in the entrance randomizer when you have, you know, a sizable number of racers, a lot of talented people. The winning time is usually just a little shy of 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours, and that's usually about the sweet spot where, you know, even if you do have to check everything, that's usually about the time frame it takes you to do it. It really depends on how many forced backtracks and double dips and stuff it requires you to do, but it's a pretty solid time here.
For a 4-on stream, I don't think any of them are going to cut the 2 hours. Haiku won't be too far over 2 hours.
Yeah, the biggest time saver for him would be a sword upgrade in the validation chest. Or if he elects to check the 2 chests in Uncle as well, but
he won't be totally dissatisfied with the cape, though.
Yeah, I mean, he does have half magic now, too. I guess that was over in Swamp. So you cape and half magic. That's actually pretty nice for a Ganon fight. For just Master Sword. I would be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, you know, you open the chest. I want Tempered Sword, but heck of a consolation prize getting the cape.
Yeah, if it was going to give me no swords but gave me the cape, I'd be like, you know what, that's fine. I'll take it. Mikan opened Turtle Rock, but he's going to go ahead and explore a little bit more over here. I think this is his first time up here. So he can check these 2 chests here and get his nothing, and then see if he decides to go into Turtle Rock or not.
hycutype using everyone's favorite strats, the B strats.
Nice. That was a nice slash there. Master Sword does not kill the red horses with 1 hit, but he did knock them against the spike, so he was able to do it in 1 slash regardless.
It's easy to kind of chuckle at the B strats, but honestly, that was a fantastic gauntlet from hycutype.
Mikan fluted away from Turtle Rock. He will regret that decision, unfortunately. He's going to go head over to Ice, which he'll find Ganon's Tower for the first time.
It's hard to really fault him for looking for Ganon's Tower instead of committing to Turtle Rock. Like,
no, there's nothing wrong with that play at all. That's the correct thing to do. It's just unfortunately not right in this situation.
Yeah, because we said before the race that usually Ganon's Tower is just loaded. Like, you want guaranteed value, go to G Tower. Well, there are no guarantees in Randomizer.
Yeah. 27 chests in here, and you find literally nothing. Pretty impressive.
You go upstairs for a cape. And hey, you can do these bomb jumps here, and you can get yourself a Burna, so if you want expensive invincibility items, this is the place to be.
A sweet looking shield, too. Solski has now made his way back into Ganon's Tower, so he's going to go ahead and check these either 4 or 5 chests. I don't remember if he did Tile Room or not. He's going to be really disappointed with what he finds.
Tile Room is really just the worst because it takes a really long time. It's usually disappointing. You're like, I want to skip this, but do I really want to skip this?
Yeah, it's... At this point, you know, it's the same as skipping like a Tile Room in Hera. I mean, the item value here is still really high. Prier's made his way into Turtle Rock just to grab that half magic. Now he's leaving. Oh no.
Mikan going for a bonk to cross that final gap, discovering that is not quite how that works. Oh man, Mikan's going up G Tower.
I think he's looking at his inventory. No, he's just gonna opt to do it.
This is a decision he will regret.
Hycutype did open the validation chest. It only had 50 rupees in it, so... Depending on what he does after he kills Daga 2, we'll be deciding whether or not he does Master Sword Ganon.
I mean, I would 100% visit the uncle here. At this point, 2 chests, the odds are actually very high there's a sword there.
Yeah, no, definitely right. I don't even know what I would do in this situation.
Though I do have to give shoutouts to the uncle in this seed. You know, he was going to take care of Ganon. He made it there.
Yeah, he was so close to taking him out. In fact, he probably would have had it. All he needed was... He's going to be holding, you know, a sword. He just needed one more sword upgrade, and he probably could have done it. And he was. That's the different sword. Nice. You think Butter will be in this chest? Is he going to check it? Oh.
I mean, it's the correct move not to check it. We all want to see it, but it's the correct move not to check it. Well, it's not the correct move is to mirror right there.
I hate mirroring anywhere in this area. I do exactly what he did, and I just go over here somewhere just because I never know what place is safe.
Yeah, I mean, especially coming out of that little pyramid ledge, there's really not a good place to mirror, and you're so close, it feels like there should be, but there's just not.
Alright, so he just has to dash all the way over to the fairy drop, and he'll be ready to take on his Ganon fight, and he did manage to come out a little stronger. Is he going to get full up?
I don't know if hycutype had found Ganon yet. He's going to, but this could be his first time discovering this.
Interesting. All right. I think he found it. I don't think you would leave a drop out there not knowing whether or not it was Uncle or Ganon.
You also might have noticed the entrance randomizer's unique text for everything extends to the Ganon fight. I'm particularly fond of that one.
Are you still referring to the smaller text boxes? Or the faster text boxes, I guess?
Well, no, I was just referring to, his...
Oh, his message?
Ganon's little quote. It is shorter than it would be in vanilla, but that's just how it worked out. He has that one really long one that I think LL Cool Dave thought was really funny. In fairness, he was kind of right. We didn't get it here.
I think my favorite one is the one just all he says is hi. I like that one the best.
That one has gotten me hit before because I'm just mashing A and then all of a sudden the fight's starting.
Yeah. Alright, that's 2 silver arrows. I think he's set up for a double here. GG to hycutype, and yeah.
And that's second place in our overall race for Haiku.
Yeah, it looks like he'll finish in second place with an official time of 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 25 seconds. So we got second place for one of the featured 4. Not bad, not bad. Willard's got some good picks. And Solski's in Turtle Rock, so this is a good decision by him because he will find his hook shot.
Solski's actually quite close to finishing because he'll find this hook shot. That'll be his go mode. He can just go wrap up Swamp and kill the pig. Well, I guess he'll have to go up GT, but that won't be too big of an ordeal.
He's trying to make it difficult on himself here. Alright, he did make it out. So just don't get stair-lag here and you won't get bonked by the fairy. He took his time and waited.
Those chain chomps do always like to make their contribution to the seed.
Oh, I hate those. Oh, I hate them, especially in entrance, actually, just because you can find them so early.
And just the excitement of doing that room backward.
I like doing it backwards better than I like doing it forward. I also don't like low percent pokies. That's something that bothers me a little bit, too.
As you try to find all the interesting items that actually affect them.
Yeah. It's kind of tricky to figure out the best way to go about a pokey when, the only thing you have is a handful of bombs and that, and their little basketballs that bounce off them will do like 8 million hearts of damage to you in green mail. But Solski doing right, staying diligent to Turtle Rock here, so he'll be pleased with his discoveries if he does not forget to mirror at Mimic Cave. He also uses a very interesting tracker too. He actually does keep track of what profitable single and multiple entrances that he's seen, so at least if he's using it with how I saw it, he would know whether or not he was still missing a single entrance cave that had value to it.
The credits just revealed to us that the buried item was some arrows.
Okay, so it wasn't that their 4 sword. Bottle for a bottle. Alright, so let's go mode for Solski. He just needs to go up here, finish Swamp, and then he'll have to go finish the Gauntlet in Ganon's Tower, and then kill the pig, of course. We'll see how many chests he decides to check on his way over. That's kind of the more interesting thing to me now. Prier's finishing on the desert.
Yeah, it's a pretty safe play. He has to do it eventually. The big question for Prier is where does he go next? Because he has... Everything for Prier is gated by that Cane of Samaria right now. So he has to make that trip around to the North of Grave Cave, which is no one's favorite place to check, but it's gating everything he needs still.
Yeah. I wonder if he's electing to do this so he can do the big bomb next.
I don't know that I've ever seen anyone flute to 6 to return the purple chest. It doesn't look that slow.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Probably one of the many things I could, time just to see, does this save a second here, save a second there? There's a lot of very unique situations and having certain items that, maybe doing it this way would be faster than the other. It's randomizer for you, though.
Does look like Mikan was thrown for a bit of a loop for a minute. He looked at his map, but I'm guessing he's heading toward Turtle Rock, which we know is going to pay off for him.
And with no hook shot, you kind of got to take the stupid way to get over there. Ooh, maybe he'll be doing the big bomb because that's where he's going. All right. You can't save and quit with the big bomb, but you can flute with it. So that's why he's allowed to be over there in Death Mountain. But if you did not have the flute, you would not be able to turn this in.
There's actually some pretty complex logic behind returning the big bomb in the shuffler. It considers what you need to return it based on the cave it's in, and it's a lot of code, but I think it makes it interesting for the 5% of seeds where the big bomb blocks anything you'll care about.
Man, it feels like it's even lower than that. It's pretty low percentage chance.
I don't know, the odds of it blocking something you might care about, even if it's not required, are a little higher, right?
Yeah, I guess that goes back to whether or not it plays, I don't know the ordering of how does it place items and then, or does it place entrances first?
Yeah, it places entrances before absolutely everything. That's why you see vanilla GT relatively rarely, because it's not like a 1 out of 4, it's a 1 out of 9.
Gotcha, that makes sense. Okay. Alright, I think that was the guy you were talking about earlier. You can bomb him and get 2 bombs for the price of 1.
Yeah, it's one of those little things to know. When that guy's in CAC and you just get 1 bomb from one of those bushes, it can really help you out. Once you're past that extremely early phase of the game, that guy has nothing to offer you.
Still pretty time-consuming way just to get 2 bombs, but I mean, it's better than no bombs for sure. Nice arrow there, and he was even able to switch to mirror too. Oh, and yep, half magic was from Argus.
Which is really a fantastic place for it, because you're going to get the cape in G Tower looking for a sword. It's impossible to miss the half magic, and you'll have some kind of a plan for Ganon if you decline to talk to your dying uncle.
I believe hycutype might be wanting to come chit-chat with us a little bit about the seed. Oh, yeah, he's in the waiting room. I'll just go ahead and bring him in. You know what? Actually, I can't, so...
So yeah, I'm sure hycutype will join us eventually, but before that's figured out, we still have things playing out. Solski just, of course, wrapping things up. Mikan has not found the hook shot, but he's on the correct course to finish the game. And I'm not entirely sure where Prier is going right now. Maybe the Bamos monolith?
Yeah, I would assume so. Hairhood. Like he'd done everything in there already. And we're joined by hycutype. Good game, good game.
And congratulations on second hycutype.
We took a little bit of time to drag him in here, so he might just be away from his computer for a second, but... we'll still congratulate him nonetheless.
I mean, it is entrance shuffle. It's easy to get a little lost.
Yeah, I mean... I'm sure he'll be tickled pink to know that two of the runners in this, our featured four, couldn't find the lamp. Alright, got his silvers working there in Landmo, so that'll inch him closer to finishing up this race. I'm not sure if we've had anybody finish since then either. No, it looks like we've only had Killer Rap and Haiku finished. So the coveted bronze medal is still up.
You know, Solski very well might take it. He is very close to the end of the game at this point.
Yeah, he's just an Agatu and a Ganon fight away. And the variance is a lot more wide on, you know, entrance shuffle as opposed to the normal mode, just because of the varieties of different routes, you know, you can take to finish the game.
Yeah, and I mean, one mistake can sink your ship, and you'll be given probably at least 4 or 5 chances to make a major mistake over the course of a run.
Yeah, there's definitely that, and just the one forgotten location. I mean, imagine you switch the roles of the lamp and the fire rod in this seed, and everything has changed dramatically. But you know, the good thing about when you forget a location when playing entrance shuffle, you know, fortunately, you might not remember it. You have to quit, you forfeit, and you talk in the spoiler log, hey, where was that thing I missed? Whenever they tell you where it was, you never forget that spot again. And so that means the more you play, you know, that means the more spots you'll never forget.
All right, how about now?
Hey, how's it going? Good game, man.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, what do you think of the seed?
Well, I didn't like not having things to complete dungeons early. Mostly, though, what was happening is I was forgetting things at the end. I meant to do with the mirror. I should have done Ice Palace. I should have done the southeast area of the Dark World right away, but I forgot that. So, and I should have committed to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we were kind of surprised you didn't take that mirror and go straight to ice. I don't know that it hurt you super badly, because you did need to finish desert at some point anyway. And you got the ice. Well, I guess the ice rod was not of any value, but it could have been.
Yeah, I just forgot, and it's only going to be, what, 30 seconds, 45 to get back.
Yeah, we were wondering if that's why you had bought the, you know, the potions, because it seemingly was going to be a really slick route to go in there and do, I guess, pot and then mirror over and finish ice.
Well, I just wasn't expecting the mirror, so when I got it, I did not plan for it properly.
That's a good point, too. I guess that was a little bit of commentator eyesight there.
I
believe it was Solski who'd been there much earlier, so we, of course, had way advanced knowledge you were getting the mirror there.
Yeah, I did get the blue mail thinking of going to Ice Palace. Came in handy.
I have no idea what Solski's doing.
So yeah, this was a pretty interesting race to watch, because I'm going to guess you probably felt like you got those mitts kind of late, but as it turned out, everyone did?
I don't really remember. Yeah, I don't remember having some thought to my relative position of getting the mitts.
We've had 2 finishes since then. I think Jim and I finished in 3rd place, with S4 finishing in 4th, and then Friday unfortunately had to forfeit because he has to go to work.
Did AA explain why the pedestal can't be anything when I checked it?
I explained why the pedestal can't be anything way back when Mikan checked it.
Was there still a weird situation where like there could have been a Master Sword or something from the dig spot?
No,
I'm honestly wondering where the 4th sword is, because between the 4 of you, there's not a lot of options left. It's got to be either Laser Bridge or the final section of Skull.
So somebody did full left side Ganon's Tower?
Yeah, the rando room had the final shield and the Cane of Burna.
We never saw, I don't think we ever saw the Stalfos room, and we never saw Hookshot Cave. And then, of course, Laser Bridge or whatever Trinex dropped himself, and then the one item, I guess, that was left in Skull Woods and Green Pendant. I think there was one item left, I'm not sure.
Yeah, though an interesting story of this race from our perspective was actually the lamp, which I'm guessing from your perspective you didn't think too much of it.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. I know that it was sort of, the mushroom check was just out of the way and there was just no good time to do it.
What about finding the mushroom?
The real story of it was the mushroom was sold by the bottle vendor.
Well, I had that right away, right?
Yes, you did.
There's a couple of our runners here on stream that don't have it at all.
One of them is fighting Ganon, and I'm gonna guess he's not gonna find the lamp. So, like, for a long time, we were just watching the race with you and Prier having the lamp and Solski and Mikan not, and we're like, where's the fire rod gonna be? Is it gonna be lamp blocked?
Well, I knew when I got Bombos that it was gonna be an Ice Palace.
That is kind of how it works, isn't it?
Indeed it is.
It's not right spots for it. It didn't necessarily have to be. The mirror was really kind of the thing that broke open the seed. It's not every day, though, that you can say the only reason the fire rod was really required was to get access to get inside Swamp Palace. That's why entrance is the best way to play.
Yeah, at the end there were some really unpleasant choices about where to look for the hook shot. It was... I didn't really want to do Turtle Rock. I didn't think clearly about what dungeon would be Hera, but I thought it was worth checking before really going in all the way, and that just cost me a lot of time.
There was some minor satisfaction that Pendant Eastern was garbage, not gonna lie.
No, it's gotta be Crystal Eastern, with the bow.
I think Eastern can just always be garbage, it's okay. There's other better dungeons than Eastern, like Mire.
Which was also garbage.
Yeah, but you know, details.
It wasn't even randomized, it was like super garbage.
I think all of you actually checked Eastern at one point or another. You checked it relatively late, but a lot of others checked Eastern quite early before Ellis and before finding either, you know, the Samaria or the Mids that were kind of needed for the late game exploration.
Yeah, it was definitely either Samaria or Mitz that seemed to have trolled everybody just because they usually found one or the other. And I do believe Prier and Mikan, they opted to go ahead and climb Ganon's tower, hoping for the hook shot there. Prier had a little bit more of an excuse to do it because I think he was still dragging a couple of items. I think maybe it was just the cane and the hook shot, so he was hoping to find one or the other.
What was the bomb situation like at the opening for the different players?
You were the one that found the early, I guess, rat shack with the bombs, right?
No, I did not. I got the pull trees for money and then bottom up in the Lost Woods.
Oh,
So yeah, it was Solski who started at Sank and just immediately had all the bombs he could want. Everyone else went the exact same way. Mikan got a lucky bomb drop, whereas you and Prier did not. So Mikan got the flippers right at the start. But otherwise, you know, whenever you made it to CAC, bombs weren't a problem, and everything just kind of sorted itself out.
Well, I mean, I had to revisit. I had to do CAC without bombs, go up to the woods, buy bombs, and come back.
yeah, I think out of our featured four, yeah, that you were the one I think it hurt the most because I think you got your flute later than everyone else as well. Which was strange though, because I think you actually turned in the mushroom the normal way, so you had the lamp first. Ooh, Mikan's cutting it real close with that Moldorm there. I think we've had a few finishes since. Couple forfeits. Strumpet did indeed forfeit. Solski finished in 6th with 2 hours and 25 minutes. And,
What did Solski do that he said cost him an hour?
I'm not sure. You know how that guy is. He exaggerates just a pinch.
Well, he must have taken a horrible death somewhere.
Oh, I think it was maybe when he died in pod. I'm not sure though.
I mean, the run's kind of been a whirlwind from our perspective because, you know, we're watching for you at once, and you guys were very divergent at a lot of points.
Solski's waiting to chat. If we can find someone to move him in, we could ask him what what cost him so much time from his perspective.
Well, nobody needs to move him in. You can just jump right in. My problem was with my microphone.
Oh, okay. That makes it easier.
So it looks like things are about to work out pretty well for both Mikan and Prier. Mikan getting his tempered sword will easily be able to handle Ganon, and Prier is on the correct course to get the hook shot now, having entered Turtle Rock.
What was the worst part about that scene, other than I guess you know, having to dip into dungeons and not being able to complete them? That's always very time consuming.
The worst part was the choice at the end game of where to look for the hook shot. I mean, are you going to go to whatever's at Hera, are you gonna go to Turtle Rock, or are you gonna go upstairs GT?
Yeah. And I guess you had left side swamp too, all that stuff. That really
But yeah, partial swamp at the back of Skullwoods.
Yeah, swamp at the back of Skullwoods is time lost in a can right there.
Yeah, I feel like those that explored that early should have at least been paid off with a sword upgrade for taking that time. Instead, they just got a big fat nothing.
Looked like the only value at all in Swamp was the half magic, and you got that from the boss, so an early trip was just going to come up empty.
We got Yunos finishing in 7th place here. 2 hours, 30 minutes, 43 seconds. Just less than a minute later, Mikan finishes. Followed shortly by Elminster, so almost 3 finishes in less than a minute there. Hey, Mikan. Good game.
So, I know you might have a couple questions.
I think you and Solski can both talk about that right there, because you both did the same thing about what you're about to say.
Oh, man.
I found out where it was.
High five.
Mikan, do you have any ideas where it might be before we spoil it for you?
Oh, what, the lamp?
Yes.
Oh, God. If I had known that, I would have gone there, I think.
I mean, we'll give you a hint. It was very obvious.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Prier seems to be upset about the hook shot.
Yeah. Oh, the hookshot was kind of crummy.
It was
I'll
not
give
the friendliest spot I could imagine.
I'll give you a hint, Mikan. It'll cost you.
Oh, no!
Now, in fairness, it's a little more difficult than that, because the guy sells you the mushroom, and that's the lamp.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I did do that. Where was the witch's hut, then? Well...
It was the lumberjack house.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you did get the mushroom and turn it in?
I did. I turned it in. I just never found the witch's hut.
Oh, we thought you didn't have the mushroom. Okay.
Oh, no, I definitely had it. I checked that hole, but I didn't check the house. Nice. That's a little more embarrassing, actually, than what it actually was.
No, it was all good. It made it very entertaining. I mean,
We were actually really worried for both of you for a while. At least I was really worried for both of you that the fire rod was going to be lamp blocked, and I didn't see you guys finding the lamp.
I was more concerned that it was in Hookshot Cave, and and I had no idea where the Hookshot was. And then when I finally found that in T-Rock, that was super great. I honestly thought the witch's hut was going to be up there on Turtle Rock, and I was like, oh, well, I can get my potions and my lamp right here. Or my hookshot and my potions. But that was not the case.
Unfortunate, too. I remember you were up there in the dark. You checked the one in the Dark World. I remember you doing that.
I did. I went back there. I didn't check it at first, but I did come back and check it. And I just completely forgot to walk into the house in the Dark World, despite me checking the, the normal lumberjack cave. I did check that. I just didn't go to the house, I guess.
Yeah, it's confusing. It's good old entrance shuffle, It wouldn't be the same without that kind of stuff happening. I'm assuming you never bought the mushroom then, Solski?
No, not at all. I completely forgot about Bottle Vendor, actually. which is funny because on my tracker I almost have everything done. So
I didn't see a lamp on there.
yeah, don't worry. Hey, wait, you guys still streaming me? I got time.
No. Oh, by the way, Solski, good job on getting that bombos from the dark sewers with only 3 hearts and just bombs, and then of course no lamp.
Thanks. Yeah, I felt something was up with that, but I didn't find the lamp up until ice, and I had no magic, so that's probably the reason why I didn't burn the green potion and went in, because I really want to go in there, but yeah, no lamp yet, so no bombos leading there to eventually the fire rod, which was unfortunate.
I was so happy when I found the fire rod, let me tell you.
Yeah, I could imagine.
I kind of laughed.
It was a very strange thing to be kind of hurting your run a little bit. You finding the mirrors early as you did help you out, Solski, and again, I think the story of the run, at least with you four, everyone found those strange mirror spots, but they only found one of them. It was either one of the two. It was never both of them. Where the mitts and the cane were locked.
Right. I mean, I think my early route was really good, and the routing and everything was pretty clean, and it was just kind of fell apart when I couldn't find the fire rod, which blocked how many dungeons? It blocked 2 plus half a G tower. Yeah, it was unfriendly.
Yeah.
Though G Tower, as it turned out, was really not the place to be. Neither was Meyer, actually.
Which was surprising, but I imagine just because of how late it was, that would have been why. Yeah, normally in the entrances I used to play where G Tower was extremely valuable usually.
Yeah, I guess when it's not locked by the mids, you can put a little bit more stuff in there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with the Tempered Sword location.
It was vanilla.
Yeah, I forgot that Uncle was gonna be there, and I just kind of dove in.
Oh, I
knew
knew
I was
Uncle.
like, oh, whoops.
Yeah, I'd figured out that he was going to be there. I didn't even realize it until like after I jumped in, I guess. Like, oh, I guess there could be a sword in here, huh?
Yeah, none of you guys were above Master set up for the Ganon fight. I'm really beginning to wonder where Sword 4 even was.
Tracker, can I please get lamp on my my stream, please?
No.
Oh no, I don't want to be one-upped. I gotta get there too.
I'm actually looking for the last sword now too.
I would start with Hookshot Cave. You're right there.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
I was also really hoping that the hook shot was going to be at the Magic Bat. That was like a dream come true for me. And I'm sure you guys probably wouldn't have liked that very much,
no.
but that would have been fantastic.
That was in my mind, but I figured I'd do T-Rock first. I didn't want to waste any more time than I already did.
So that would have been really rough for you too, because you would have had to do Agatar without the lamp.
Oh god, I had to do that. Actually, never mind. I was gonna spoil Cross's plan out, but never mind. Just in case people want to play it. But
I guess something else funny that we saw during the run, going towards Haiku, when you turned in your mushroom, and then you used your green potion, because that was your next thing in the item, did you miss that?
That was an accident. I wasn't real
Oh, of
sad
course.
about it because having magic early is nice, but that was an accident.
I was pretty sure that wasn't on purpose.
Right. No, of course, yeah, you're spamming your button and it goes to the next thing.
did anyone full clear T-Rock?
No, everybody was looking for the hook shot last.
Ooh, I know a good spot. Because I think there's still an item there.
I don't think anyone checked the Stalfos room in Ganon's Tower either. And then there's also Skull Woods as well.
That's where I'm going. Yeah, Skull has one item left, I believe.
What's the green pendant do? Or just, I don't think it's at the shovel spot. I think the credits spoiled that one for us. So you don't have to worry about the pedestal.
Yeah, figure pedestal wouldn't be a thing just because of G-Tower's location. So, well, actually, I knew it wouldn't have been a thing. So,
There still could have been a Master Sword on the pedestal if both the swords were in the tablets, if I recall, but I think that's it. Then you would have had to use the cape to get into desert. That would have been really fun, actually.
that would have been hilarious.
It's a pretty bad item to have on the pedestal, I'll tell you that.
I mean, normally I would agree that shovel on pedestal is awful, but in this particular case, where you're pretty sure it's not required, that's just one fewer inconvenience to juggle, right?
Right.
Yeah, Turtle Rock being a pendant really cuts down on what can be there.
Or just simple shuffle in itself. If, you know, Ganon's Tower is not vanilla, then the only thing that can be locked from the pedestal, I guess, is anything that locks you from specifically beating Ganon, but not beating any of the crystal dungeons.
Yeah, I mean, if Ganon's Tower lands in Mire and you need it for like the flute or the medallion, that can happen. But once you found G Tower, your scenarios are just so dwindled.
Speaking of G Tower, I know I went up to Death Mountain and was like, oh, I can get all these chests up here. And it was halfway up there and like, oh wait, this is entrance shuffle. Probably not going to be everything up here. Completely ignoring that I already found Hookshot Cave. I opened T-Rock and I was thinking, well, hold on. If G Tower is in Ice Palace, I feel like I can check a lot of stuff there if the keys allow me to. And probably the hookshot's there. So that's why I just went there instead of going the T-Rock route when I was there. And then I did a little bit of metagaming. I had opened IRC and saw that someone had done. I was like, there's no way the hookshot's up here. But I went ahead and did it anyway.
It was still pretty late got done. I mean, still time to do other things. It was most unfortunate for Aiku, as I think he had cleared out was it the first 4 chests in Turtle Rock, and then that's when you left?
First 3.
First 3, okay. We'd missed it. You were there, and we looked over, and then you weren't anymore. We got really confused.
Yeah, that was indecision. That was just a mistake. I would not have gone there first if I was thinking clearly. I would have checked Ice, and depending what that was, Hera.
Gotcha.
Man, Prier, like, trying to finish the uncle off there after taking a sword from him.
Oh, did you guys like my chicken coop? Or did you guys catch that?
Oh, yeah, you did. Threw a couple bombs down there. I saw something else too. There's a lot going on in these 4-ways, especially in entrance. It's madness trying to keep up with it all. It was really fun to watch, though.
Oh, I would imagine this seed in general was really fun, actually.
All 4 of you were at different spots, like at all points in time, almost like after the 2-minute mark, it seemed.
Like, in the early game, you guys were kind of paired off in a way, you know, Solski and Mikan without the lamp, and you did a lot of kind of similar things, but by the time you got to Dark World, it was just total divergence.
It's my first time doing the Mire Dark Room. That wasn't too bad.
We saw the message. At least I did. I saw the other one, too. I don't know if you did more than 2.
I don't remember putting a second one up. Oops. Oh yeah, the lamp.
Yeah, you would have put good use to that Acno lamp emote today.
Yeah, I would have probably worn that one out. This is the best way to finish a run without a lamp. I'm proud of you guys. Makes Zach happy. This is good setup for a triple here. Almost.
Still a very good Ganon fight.
Oh, that was fantastic fight. Prier's the last of our 4 featured runners to finish up his run.
In 10th place with a time of 2:44.35.
Yeah, no one's finished since I last announced that. Yeah, Elminster was in 9th with a 2:31, so it's about 14 minutes difference there. Good old entrance. And there was 25 people in this run, so I think We got 15 people
In
out there.
10th
or we had
place
some
with a
forfeits, too.
time of 2:44.35.
Yeah, no one's finished since I last announced that. Yeah, Elminster was in 9th with a 2:31, so it's 14 minutes difference there. Good old entrance. And there was 25 people in this run, so I think we got 15 people out there, or we had some forfeits too.
I think
Still-
I just counted 9 people still running.
Yeah, 9 or 10, I think. They're just out there still braving the world. Looks like one of them is fighting Aga too, so he should be almost done. Got a few of them in Swamp.
I think
still,
I just counted
one of
9
them's,
people still
just
running.
about to enter Mimic Cave. He'll be pretty happy. Yeah, 9 or 10, I think. They're
Or
out there
unhappy,
still
depending on the kind of guy
braving the
he
world.
is.
Looks like one of them is fighting Aga too, so
But you know, the
he
thing that made
should
this
be
kind of
almost
nice
done.
for an introduction to Entrance Shuffle, because I think for
Got a few of
several
them
of
in
these people
Swamp,
playing it is
one
that
of them's
even though a
just
lot
about
of
to
these
enter
things were
Mimic
in
Cave.
places that
He'll
were
be
kind
pretty
of
happy.
inconvenient, they were places that had items in vanilla. You
Or
know, those
unhappy,
weird
depending on
spots
the
in
kind of
Mimic
guy
Cave.
he is.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice in that perspective that it didn't really just give you that really unusual like one-off location that you only check an entrance that just happened to unlock the whole entire seed. That's why I was kind of surprised at how long it ended up taking to find those, because you kind of still naturally gravitate to the vanilla locations a little bit more so than the random entrances, especially when you've been playing so much vanilla randomizer.
I don't think there were any unusual locations that had something. Nothing like the southeast of Dark World, and you certainly didn't have to mirror on the bumper ledge.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think I did that anyway.
I mean, that house in the pot area had the bow, so that was kind of important.
I guess that one counts. That's kind of an easily forgettable one.
Somewhat large and conspicuous, though.
It's,
Yeah, subtlety isn't really that building's thing.
I hope everyone liked the entrance shuffle. I don't think we're going to be having another entrance shuffle until late Sunday evening, but this one will be a full setting with Key Sanity attached to it. I can tell you I am the most excited about that I've ever been, because even more shuffling and then also adding Key Sanity, it's the best way to play. If you haven't tried it, you have to start now. There's no better way to play this game.
What time is that? When's that?
I believe that was Sunday evening, but I'm reciting this from my memory, which is not trustworthy to say the least. Let me double check.
Sunday evening sounds correct to me.
I should be in on that.
Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern. Yeah, don't miss it. I think later today, though, at 8 o'clock, as far as daily goes, we have a Key Sanity at 8 p.m., open at 11 p.m., and I know one of our tournament races just finished up on Speed Gaming 3. Like, Farame took a 1-0 lead over Gerdo.
Farami's one of the people I kind of expected might have raced in this, but of course, got to prioritize the tournament races.
Yeah, we have a Wolfieverse Cransoon at 8:30 tonight as well. Tomorrow looks kind of stacked, though. We got a couple people playing tomorrow. A few of them might be in this call. Yeah, Amazing Ampharos versus TGH back-to-back at 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, and then also at 10 o'clock, Prier versus JSR. Good luck to you guys with those as well.
I will certainly do my best there and hope it's enough.
Someone who's beaten TGH, I'll just let you know he's unbeatable as far as I'm concerned. He's really good, but good luck to you, man.
Well, you know, one of two things happens. Either I win and that's good, or I don't win and I get to be the guy who lost to the eventual champion 2 tournaments in a row.
Yeah, and you'll either win in the bracket or win in your bracket predictions. So you hedged your bet pretty well on that one. So yeah, I guess that'll wrap up our rando until about a couple more hours, and then we'll have a tournament race and another daily for your viewing pleasure.
Yeah, I think we've about covered all the various wrinkles and quirks of this seed.
Oh, you got the shovel too? Wow. Where's the sword at?
I still don't think we found it.
Solski, what's taking so long?
Oh, whoops. That's embarrassing. Where was it? Oh, okay.
I think on that though, I'm at least gonna wrap things up and grab a little lunch. I think I might be playing in some of these races a little bit later, but yeah, everybody watching, stay tuned. Go ahead and either watch the tournament race at 8:30, watch the daily race at 8 o'clock, or you know what, even better, if you got 2 monitors, watch both. No reason not to, but thanks for listening. Thanks for, the runners putting up a great show, Mikan, Haiku, Prier, and Solski. And thanks for awesome, well, I don't know if I had an awesome co-commentator or an amazing co-commentator. You guys can pick which one you want, but thanks for co-commentating with me as well, AA.
Yeah, thanks for commentating with me. I have to say, Ak, you are my favorite Boker.
Thanks, you're my favorite, and Faros as well.
How much sleep are you on, or how long have you been awake, AA?
A while. A good long while.
He's been awake for at least 8 troll open seeds so far, from what he told me. It's a long time.
Oh, I've been awake only... What would that be, about 14 hours?
The math checks out. But thanks again for watching, guys. I'll be disconnecting here. You guys can continue watching Solski for the hunt for the sword. Probably the last place it is, but yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.
Yeah, I'll be signing out as well, but good luck, Solski. I hope you will eventually find that sword. I believe in you.
Rip. We're not going to find it.